hiatus.
Here we go.
I'm here. I'm just
Yeah, no, Ozzy's not here. We're doing it without him.
No, this is
This is
a
a hologram.
it's an artificial intelligence representation
Yeah, Ozzy's
of
going.
Ozzy
Yep,
Jeffro.
he's going. He's gone. He's gone.
You didn't even
Peace
make
out.
your bed. You did.
God.
Oh!
Bed judgment.
I'll judge it.
Wow.
I'm gonna go live too. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Maybe. Oh my god. I mean, look, I'm on holiday. Leave me alone.
You
There you are.
don't look like you're on holiday. You look like you've just come from like a sports leisure meeting.
Is this
Excuse
just
me.
rip on Aussie Day? Because I'm here for this.
I feel like it,
I
yeah.
just bought these, and now I feel like I need to
No,
return
you're
them.
looking
because
incredibly
that-
sharp. That's the point. Like
Oh.
You're looking too
un-
sharp.
too
we
sharp.
don't
Yeah.
understand. Natia says, "Oh my God, it's Ozzy's new shirt." Oh no! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Natia. I'm sorry. Wait, have you not seen it?
No,
She hasn't
Noctia's
seen
back
it
in
yet.
Melbourne. Noctia's back in
Oh.
Melbourne.
Oh, she didn't come with you.
Oh,
Oh.
what?
No, she
Oh,
did. She
okay.
did. I'm here for another night. That's all.
Ah, okay.
Oh my goodness.
That's how important D&D is.
Yeah, that's so true. Natia, I totally thought you guys were both up in Brisbane, so imagine my surprise when I heard that he left you behind, and I just want you to know that I would never do that to you.
Okay, hold on. First and foremost, I'm going to get into Cuddly's chat so I can see what my wife's saying about
No!
Second of all,
Oh, you were.
I'll laugh if she just jumps between our streams now, just so she avoids you.
Yeah, I'm not in my chat, so you shouldn't be in my chat.
second of all, shut up. No,
Second of all, shut up.
Shut up. You know what? You know what, Cuddly? This is what I say to that. This is what I say to that.
That's better.
This is yeah, that's right. Feel
No.
bad.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
feel bad. Yeah, feel
I
bad.
do feel bad.
Oh my
Unsub
God.
immediately.
No,
Unsub
I refuse.
immediately.
Oh my god, what is that?
Wow.
I love you.
Give me 2 seconds and I gotta get more water. Oh.
Imagine getting water.
Imagine requiring water.
Hotspot, yes!
While we wait, I'm going to just show everyone my cool bag. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Ooh.
Look at this. Look at this.
Ooh. So you're sending it to me
that is
when?
very cool. Oh, it's one of those bags that looks like a spell book.
Yes.
That's very cool.
Oh, I've always wanted
Very
one of those.
cool.
Those are so cool. I love
How's
it.
that moist book you're eating?
It's very moist. Here, let's do some moist art. Here's
Moist
the moist
art,
book. It has some very
Oh, the
moist art.
book.
Coming back.
Oh,
Wait.
my.
There's
That's
some
moist.
very moist pictures and artwork in this book. It's very good. This is what we do while we wait. But Roger's back now. I still need to show at least
At
One
least one
piece.
saucy picture. Come on, don't leave us hanging.
yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to find.
Natia and Whaley love your bag. Where did you get the bag? Where did you get the bag, Kalas?
It's I don't. It's the brand is something. I can't remember the name of the brand. It's,
The brand is something, and I have never honestly. I feel
the
that.
brand it's something alternate. It's called alternative something, like everything is.
I feel that. Okay.
I can't remember. Okay, hold on. I've almost found because I just went by the
Brownie points if it's hot topic.
Wait,
It's
while
not
Josh is
topic.
looking for the picture, do you guys want to see my new bag? Yeah?
Welcome to
I don't know. We saw your
Designers
shirt.
and,
This
and
is a bit
Dragons.
much.
It's a duffel bag. It's just a duffel
Wow.
bag. There's nothing special about it.
Oh, there
brand
you go.
is it?
Designers and duffel bags.
Oh my god.
Yeah, designers and duffel bags. That's what we're playing.
I love it.
I
Science
don't have a
fashion, yeah,
bag
exactly.
Sure,
I'm not even gonna
my
lie.
mouth.
I spent
Turn
legit
into sweet cheese.
2 days looking for a bag in the middle of Brisbane. All the bag stores have shut down. because of travel. Like no one's traveling. No one needs bags anymore. They've all shut down.
It's true. I've never used a bag in my life since. No, I'm kidding. That's a fun
Well, I ran out of. Well, this mouse here that's got the buttons on the side. It died over the weekend. Over the weekend.
Oh.
Oh, news.
Yeah,
Are you gonna hold a service for it?
Oh, saucy picture.
Ooh.
That is very saucy, very pretty.
You know what would make that picture even saucier? A little bit of
Wiggly
spaghetti.
eyebrows.
You can leave now.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
Nana died, unfortunately.
Nana died. Nana died.
Sorry, Nana
No,
died.
she passed
You can
away.
leave now.
No! You get out as well.
We tried to do everything we could, but we
So
couldn't
we lost
do so much.
I imagine
already do the
Nana-
bad ones.
Nana would probably, the most likely way I imagine Nana dying is trying to get something from her bag of holding and just falling into it.
Never stopping falling.
I can just imagine like
Because-
wasting an
because-
Oh no!
You can't, the thing is, you can't get out of a bag of holding. Someone has to actually put their hand in and
Yeah.
imagine grabbing you. So if no one knows you fall in, no one will know to look.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys aren't paying attention, and Nana just goes up, up, up.
And there's no oxygen in there. You die after 1 plus your Constitution modifier rounds. You start suffocating. You hit 0 hit points. You're done.
Ah.
It's bad time.
Damn.
But I maintain no body, no death. So technically, I'm Schrodinger's Nana.
One day someone takes Nana's bag, flips it inside out, and just her corpse falls out.
Tiny
Just a
skeleton.
skeleton.
Oh, Nana, why?
Oh,
But
God.
still clutching that spoon. Still clutching that spoon. Don't.
Like a death grip on the spoon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know
Yeah.
it. You know it.
Oh,
heck, I
okay.
need to
Now I'm
think
just
again.
imagining Nana as those spoon ladies in Bloodborne that come up from behind and gouge your eyes out.
Oh, they gauge the eyes. Oh
The
no.
spoon ladies are
I
the
Yeah,
don't think
I
I
forgot
ever
about
got that
those.
far into
That's
it.
kind of legit.
Oh,
Oh my god. No, thank you.
incredible.
No,
Oh.
thank you.
Okay, here we are. Boom, boom, boom.
Yes.
That's right. We're playing D&D.
Wait, are we?
Whoops.
That's right.
What?
Oh, I thought it was just shit talk.
Also, thanks so much for the follow, Comet Chameleon.
Honestly, we
welcome.
probably could
Good to have
waste
you
3
here.
hours just sitting here talking
Probably
about.
Shit talking? Yeah, I could absolutely.
I mean, you say waste. I don't know.
That's a good time.
We all get on the piss, drink, talk for 3 hours. I think it'd be awesome.
Cheers.
But I believe everything was on fire last week.
Yes.
Including or?
Including
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
Quick-
including
quick
but not limited
recap.
to.
But not
The quick
limited to.
recap is you arrived on a boat. You chartered spots in a small cargo vessel from Southport down to Trollhat, where you got off, and you asked around for the person you were looking for. You were offered a little bit of a side job that was already on your way, kind of. You were told to go south to a small outpost village called Isvind, and you had been told that the person carrying, or probably carrying, the brand that you'd been following had also headed south. On your way there, you stumbled upon some skilly boys that killed your guide.
Whoops.
Just killed your guide, but you also found a very rare magical item, and all of a sudden, Gerald was even more afraid. And I want to just take a quick moment to ask: is it a soft or a hard G
Just a
in
quick
Gerald?
plug-in
Is
to
it
say
Gerald or
sub
Gerald?
Gerald.
Because-
HYPEEE.
Okay, because I think I've been all over the place with that.
That's all right.
Okay,
Gerald,
so
like
Gerald,
giraffe, I guess. Yes.
Gerald,
Gerald the giraffe.
Oh, Whaley, thank you so much for the sub.
but Gerald now has
9 months. Holy crap.
a pretty little circlet, a headband,
Mm.
and it made you incredibly smart. And now you know all the things to be afraid of.
Considering
that.
selling it at the first outpost.
Just not even bartering. Just the first bid you get sold.
Just take it away, please.
Uncomfortable levels of knowledge.
But thanks to the combined effort of Dusku's and Nana's shapeshifting, you brought the sled with you. You didn't just leave it in the snow. So you
Nana's not
ferried
gonna
it.
walk back that far.
Nana turned into a horse, and you draped some furs over her so she wouldn't be cold, and she pulled the sled all the way to the village, where you arrived at as dusk was falling and plumes of smoke were coming down. There were creatures of fire setting everything on fire, killing villagers.
Mm.
And
Almost
you
killing
managed-
Arthur.
almost killing Arthur, was on fire, but you did a good old tuck and roll. And Rudy came in with the nuke of heals, and all was good in the world.
Literally went Super Saiyan with healing energy. It was amazing.
You did.
You had to be there.
I saw it. I
Yeah.
saw it happen. It was great.
I am now
Pretty amazing.
promoting Rudy to up
There
to
was
like
I
top,
just
by that
I'm gonna plug another D&D show real quick and just say there was a moment in the latest episode of High Rollers that was just the whole thing was they had to not kill the boss,
Hey,
they had to
Ed. How you
heal
doing?
the boss and kill all the ads.
Whoa.
And it was just the final moment was just amazing where the RP was on point
Oh, good to have you
and
here. Welcome.
everything. They just screamed and it
Once
was
we get into the game properly, I
lore-
won't be
so
chatting too much. with you
lore
guys until we
accurate,
break or
everything. It
until
was
after
just
the
so
game.
good. I couldn't even
but,
sit still. I had
lovely
to
to have you
stand
here.
up while watching it.
One day we'll get there. One
Yeah, one
day.
day
One day.
I don't know about you. I'm standing up right now.
Yeah.
Don't stand up, please.
Don't stand up. You weren't wearing any pants.
Yeah,
Nobody
you weren't
was.
wearing
Yeah, that's right. You said you don't. Oh. Mm-mm.
Speaking of plugs,
TOS.
Sirenscape.
Sorry.
We are.
Syrinscape.
The music
OnlyFans?
in the background is from Sirenscape. There is a rotating message in my chat from my bot. There is a link in my about section that can take you to the Sirenscape website or to the actual credit list for the sound sets we're using.
It's true.
Yes.
Do
And
it.
let's get into it. As the
Really?
dust is settling, the fires are being stoked. Nana is using control flame to down all the fires. Villagers are just shoveling snow up on their hide tents, and it's getting darker as the fires are being doused. It gets darker. There's still some light. Some fires were from campfires, and I believe Rudy had the light cantrip going. If I recall.
I had it going on Daskus's great axe, but I would have if the others were sort of putting out flames, Rudy would have sort of gone around to the remaining villages, maybe just made sure they're all good, and probably would have maybe set up a, I don't know,
Triage.
Yeah, and we would have used his light there, so there was a place they could all congregate and whatnot.
Feel free to do. I would like Rudy to make a medicine check, just
Sure.
a general to see if there's how much you can do, because there's some people, some are in shock, some have burns to various degrees.
Alright, bear with me. I'm using a touchpad here, so. Ooh, I don't know what that means. What does that
Oh
mean?
boy.
What's the big beat? Oh! Oh, that's what that means!
Wait,
That's
What
a
did you
natural
do?
20, baby.
Oh,
That's a
Oh.
natural 20!
Oh my.
Hey! Boom!
So-
Boom,
running
baby.
over,
Such
someone
medicine.
actually brings you one of the bodies of people who had been lit on fire by these small elemental creatures. Someone carries the body over, and you realize you have a moment, and using just residue healing magic from your divine source, you manage to bring this person back from the brink.
Population 21.
Population
Rudy
has
just
been
puts the-
restored to 21.
He's just like, boom! And there he goes. He's up. He's back. He's moving again. That's...
And you realize even with the first aid kit and magic, a lot of these people would need long time care. All you can do is basic first aid and do your best to prevent any secondary infections.
Oh,
Yeah.
and if there's any people like on the brink of death, Gerald can go around and spare the dying.
Yeah.
They're dying.
I don't think anyone right now is on the brink of death, but because there's one person who actually did perish from the fire and their burns, but otherwise, it's more people in shock. Most of them, because it didn't seem like these creatures were actively trying to kill people. It was more like they were just causing mayhem, the small ones. It was the larger one that Dusgoose immediately ran up and faced off against that was actively trying to off the population and was interrupted by Dusgoose running up and them having the epic showdown that they had.
I would like to try and start looking towards like a chief or someone that's in charge of the village.
And I'd
Yes,
like
and
to
you-
make soup.
Soup, you bring out the cauldron. The cauldron is out, and you do find there is an actual campfire. There are 2 actual campfires in this village, and the village is built. There's a bit of a slope, and Arthur, you see that on the top of the slope there's not a bigger tent, but a more ornate, intricate tent.
Right, I'd like to start.
And
walking to
up
that
there,
next
you
one.
can see. You can see an elderly figure leaning on a staff, looking down, and is starting to make their way down as some of the villagers are running up to help them. And Nana, you can place your cauldron, set up a little one of those 3-point stands, and hang your cauldron above a fire. Start cooking.
Oh
Just
yeah.
start druid crafting some root vegetables to just dice down into this.
You always want to start with potatoes and carrots, okay?
It's hearty, it's healthy, it's good for you.
It's so good for you.
Nana's just a potato factory.
Plop, plop. Like out the sleeves. They just plop out the sleeves.
So I walk up to the guy that's sort of walking down the hill. I go straight up and walk to him and introduce myself. I'm Arthur Oblet III. Who are you, sir?
And you see, it turns out it's actually a woman, a very old, gnarled woman. Doesn't mind, looks up at you and says, well, thank you. You came in the nick of time. I will make sure that you're all given a good, nice place to sleep. This would not have happened if the blizzard hadn't been here on time. Thank you for coming. I will have to ask you and your friends some questions. Do you have any idea what these creatures were? They came from the south. It's very strange. This would never have happened if Tura had been here.
Look, sorry. Let's walk down to Gerald together. He is a man of mountain knowledge. What was your name again? I missed it.
My name is Lyrinda Glazegale, and don't laugh at my name.
Please walk with me. We'll walk down to Gerald, and he knows many things he might know.
Okay, and you help this along with a villager of 2 that just you help her down the slope, and it's a little bit slippery, and even though it's not snowing, it's still cold, and with all the fires going, snow has melted, and then as the fires are going out, it's just refreezing. There are flecks of ice spotted all over the village now.
I kind of yell out to Gerald and wave my hand towards myself to try and get him to come over.
Oh, you see Gerald sort of down the slope a little bit, sort of just looking around, going, oh, what is it, Arthur?
Come up here, Gerald. We need to speak to you, mate.
Okay, all right.
I want to know what Dusgoose and Rudy is doing. Rudy, you're working on first aid.
I reckon I'd still be working on the first aid. Yeah.
Is Dusku's helping? Maybe like fetching people who can walk over too fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say after like helping to take out the fires and such, you would have, and making sure there was like no other of these creatures in the area, like doing a full scout of the area. Going to go help people to bring over to where Nana is cooking up like the big feast for everyone.
Just
We have like a production line. So you got the Rudy, you know, sort of does all the first aid and everything, you know, puts some gauze over the burns and whatnot, and then just sort of slaps them on the bum and they slide down to Dust Goose, who just picks them up and then takes them over to Nana's station. Nana pours some soup into their mouth and then slaps them down again, and they slide back down into a nice little sleeping bag, and they just settle down there. That's the production line we got going.
And Nana, you do get help from another villager, a young man, maybe late teens, who come over with like it seems like almost a basket, but you're not sure what it's made of, and it's just filled with like freeze-dried meats and strange vegetables, and just starts also like breaking them up into pieces. It looks like some of it looks like it could be bread. Like small pieces of bread, and also starts just putting it into your cauldron.
Ooh, croutons.
I slap his hand away with a wooden spoon and I go, "Nope, touch! Don't touch! You give it to me first, but thank you."
It doesn't really say much. Seems very it's not shock or anything. Just doesn't really know what to do, but stops and just holds it for you to inspect.
Okay.
Like it's not interrupting, showing you all the respect. You set this project up, and it's just trying to help.
Aw.
Oh, that's really sweet.
I
Nana
almost
feels
imagine.
regret. For a
Aw.
second.
No, she doesn't. Come on now.
No, she doesn't.
Challenging her authority.
Let her not be monster.
But I can almost imagine Duskus with the great axe that's lighting like a beacon, like one of those peoples in the stores. They had the big signs where it says like "Here to help" or "Staff," and you can see them over the aisles.
Yes. This way. Go this way.
No, you'd go this way, not that way.
I kind of wanted to imagine Nana like producing potatoes, and then Dusk Goose like really carefully trying to chop it with a great axe, like tongue out to the side, like.
Or it's just incredible dexterity. It's a huge great axe, but it's going like chuk 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 chuk.
To see how precise he is.
Yeah, like you know those wilderness videos with people with machetes, and they're just doing this super fine chopping.
Yes.
He's gone full barbarian on the potato.
Yeah,
Yes.
rage
Goose
cooking.
feels it. Not feels it.
If you look like super close, you can see one of the gooses on his headdress or whatever. Not the goose's eyes is like squinting a little bit, and there's like a little tongue just poking out as like stares.
No, it's a Ratatouille sort of situation.
Oh my god!
It's like,
You've been doing this the whole time.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Anyway.
Wait, Nana wants to quick ask a question. Hold up,
Yes.
hold up, please hold. You're a nice young person. What is your name?
My name is Jaquel.
It's a lovely name. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
the
What is your name?
This. My name is Melivora, but you can call me Nana.
Oh, okay. And just casually, he's like started stirring in the pot.
And I let him
And
this
it's just-
time.
It's just very much taking a back seat, but wants to help.
Yeah, don't tell the others, but you might be my favorite.
Yeah, of any of us.
And by now, Gerald, you're meeting up Arthur coming down the slope with this very much hunched over, looks elderly, but with your new intellect, you can tell very easily that this person isn't necessarily old, more than worn. From the harsh lifestyle, this person
Right,
looks
right.
older than
Weathered.
they might actually be.
Yeah.
Weathered, worn, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Understandable.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Gerald.
Linda, thank you, and your tall, weird friend here, almost. I can't
Accurate
tell if he's
descriptions,
handsome
yes.
or strange.
What did you need me for, Arthur?
Well, look, we don't know what these monsters we were fighting here are. And with your wisdom and knowledge, you wouldn't happen to know what any of them would be, would you?
Trouble, Arthur, and ones that we don't want anything to do with. But let me see whether I can maybe have a little bit of a look at them and we'll maybe figure it out.
Sweet.
And you go to look, and there's nothing left really. The small creatures, they sort of melted away against as they perished. They just melted away into and burned away like embers. But the slightly bigger creature that looks almost like a dwarf, but it's all of its facial hair and hair on its head, it was fire. It was just fire. There are pieces of it left, but it's looks like it's starting to also just turn to ash. But you can make an Arcana check.
Okay. And I shall.
Scoop up the ash.
Oof.
Oof, I'd say 9 isn't a great roll, but
It's
with
not.
your bonus, I'm going to take your bonus into consideration here. Plus 6 is still... It shows your passive knowledge. And I'd say you're not too sure what they are, except that... with your knowledge of the islands, as they aren't actually islands, you're on floating huge pieces of ice. These aren't islands that come from the ground underneath the ocean all the way up. There is no natural reasons for beings of fire to be here. It's not a natural occurrence.
No,
That much I
definitely
can
not.
tell you.
Yeah. That would be pretty... yeah, that
So
would
you
be
don't
pretty
know what they
obvious.
are, but you know they shouldn't be here.
Yes. Well... also, I suppose I know what they aren't as well, right?
That's a
Right.
fair assumption. And you're free to deduce openly and make theories.
So it was because I remember last week I asked if I recognized them from any past experience, and it was not things that I've run into before. So just to be clear, those were so these are not fiends, right?
No, they are not considered fiends. You assume in the back of your mind, even though you might not want to acknowledge it, you assume you would know instinctually
Some sort of either-
fiends.
Yeah, some sort of either. So I would guess. I don't know exactly. I can tell you they're definitely not fiends. Probably some sort of either a demon or fire spirit of some sort. Definitely not natural though. It's they shouldn't be around here at all. This is a completely foreign space. for them.
Lorinda leans in on her clutched staff and says, "No, they shouldn't. I've never seen anything like this. It's not natural." And then
I
takes
agree.
takes a moment, seems to recognize that you have a fair amount of understanding, even though you're not convinced of what these creatures are. Leans in and says, "Could it be related to the lack of snow?
It could be.
Do you think this is a coincidence?"
Is this the first time the storm has ever been delayed?
Yes.
And this is also the first time you've ever seen these nasty things, right?
Yes.
Seems like too much of a coincidence to actually be a coincidence, doesn't it?
Thought as much. And just rubs her temple. Well, okay. I'll need to talk to you and your friends in the morning. We might be in need of your assistance further. But I see your friends are helping out a lot. a lot down there, and it's greatly appreciated. We will not forget this. We will make sure you can sleep somewhere comfortable
That
and
would be
warm.
most appreciated.
Before you go, we did bring a wagon full of items that was sent from the village north.
Oh, that's great. We were almost expecting it to not have arrived.
It almost did.
But we didn't receive any form of payment. But we don't want any payment. We would like just some more resources for our trip.
Roll a deception check because you did get paid.
Gerald's looking confused. He's not. He wasn't on board with this subterfuge. He's like, what? What do you mean? Didn't they?
Sorry. Okay, the first one goes 12. She gives you a look like she knows you might be bullshitting and says, I think we can work something out.
Has heard this because she has keen little gnome ears, and can I roll something to hit him with a spoon?
I'd say roll a perception check, and if
See
you
if
can
you
beat
hear it,
a 16, you heard it.
Okay, I hope so. What's happening? I just want to hit you with a spoon!
She's gonna jump on your back and gouge out your eyes, Arthur.
No!
No!
Oh,
I'm
so
so
close.
mad.
It gets away with it.
I'm so mad.
Are you just kind of murmuring what's going on?
I'm so mad!
I want to kind of help her back up to a little tent.
Oh, Orby's gonna get the spoon sometime. You mark my words. It's happening.
Over by Rudy and Goose, a young girl, very very young, has come over and is also trying to help but doesn't know what to do. So it's more like just watching, observing what Rudy's doing, because Rudy's still you're still learned in the ways of medicine. You know first aid, you know not only magical healing but like actual medical knowledge, and this little girl is just observing, and then looks up at you when you don't look too busy and says, do you all know Tura? Is that why you came and helped us?
Tura.
Tura. Rudy crouches down and sort of gets on a level, and I go, I can't say I do. Do you know Tura?
And this little girl just stands up and like hugely gesticulates and says, Tura could have blown those all to pieces.
Oh,
Okay,
that's good. Like the sound of Tura. Tell me more.
Yeah, maybe Tura guided us without actually telling us. I'm sure Tura did guide us here with purpose.
Are you going to meet the dragon?
Dragon. Oh, I like the sound of dragon.
I mean, we might be meeting the dragon. This is the same dragon that brings the snow, yeah?
No. This is our dragon. Tura brought the dragon.
Oh.
I'm up.
Rudy,
At least that's what Dad said. Dad said that when Tura came back, they brought the dragon with them.
And where's this dragon now?
Over there, and points the way, and I don't think any of you can see in the dark.
Definitely not that.
No, you're not here, Arthur. You're not here. You're not here.
Wow. Imagine being here.
And you just look off, and there's darkness. You can't really see past the campfire light, or you're getting a fair bit amount of light from Dusk's axe still. It's just
cantrips can be cast at will, can't they?
yes, and the light cantrip lasts for an hour.
So Rudy could theoretically deactivate Dust Goose's light, or does he not have to deactivate it? Can he just cast another one, or?
If you cast another one, the first one goes out.
Okay. Rudy has a quick look around, sort of at his feet. Are there any does he find like a small stone or something like that?
There doesn't seem to be any stone around. But you could just light it on like your glove or one of your medical tools.
Yeah. Rudy takes like a. Well, he wants to throw something. You see. So.
So that's why he's not taking the great axe that's already lit up.
Yeah, no, I don't want to throw a great axe into the darkness to see what's over there.
If you could
Yeah,
throw a
Rudy
great axe.
grabs. Yeah, exactly. Rudy, because it's a bright light. It's a relatively bright light, no matter what object you place the light on. So Rudy takes like a small safety pin or something like that. Casts light on it, and just sort of like flings it out into the darkness in the direction.
And it goes away and it lands between two tents in the far end of the village in that direction. And you just see snow. And the little girl just... It's much further than that.
Got him.
So Rudy crouches down again and goes, So where is your dad, my little friend?
Over there points, and you can see it's someone who's currently just patting down snow a bit a ways away in the village, just sort of rubbing snow on still like a piece of tent. And the fire's out, but it seems like trying to get the stains, like the soot stains off, to see what the actual damage might be.
Right. Alrighty. Rudy might be at this point wanting to reconvene the party real quick, sort of bring us all back together, and sort of disclose the information. Obviously, I thank the little girl, for helping, because she was observing and helping out. But then maybe pulls the party back together, maybe just sort of lets them know the information that he just got, and points to, gestures towards the gentleman as well, so we're all aware.
Yeah, and as you go, because people realize it's like people in this village seems to be very attuned to not being in the way and sort of making sure something is being done all the time. So they very quickly realized, okay, these people came, they helped, that one is now making food, someone went over to help them, that one over there is handling first aid, we don't want to bother them. Like, letting you do it your way, so there's not like a collision in workload. But as you do first aid, you notice that like one or two people have come over and is doing more thorough look at the wounds, just to keep, because you do just the basic, the quick, like okay, you'll survive the night, you're fine.
Yep.
And then other people have taken over and maybe dealing with the shock of some people and maybe taking them to their respective tents. And you realize that all of a sudden it's just you, Duskus, and the little girl who's now running off to what she pointed out to be her father. And everyone else has been helped away, and most people are congregated around Nana and the pot of stew. And people just, after a while, people just show up with bowls.
I felt like make my way, kind of going back down to Rudy at this point in time after helping the old lady back to her tent.
And she didn't go back up. She also went down to where the rest of the village is, because most people who don't need to lie down are now just basically soup kitchen lining around Nana.
I would like to go to Rudy just to see if my magical helpness is needed.
Magical help.
Rudy looks around, there's nobody around him, and goes, "No."
But
the slaps Arthur's back. Go on. Let's go get some soup. I'll fill you in on something.
All right, sweet.
Yeah,
And
most of
Nana
these most of these people don't need any more like actual healing. They need time.
Hmm.
Need to rest.
I just want to quick rub it in for everyone because Jackal is still helping me, I believe, and he has the best. He's got the best ladling skills, and I just want to be like, you see this? You could all take a leaf out of his book, you know. To
Look,
the other
Nana,
orc.
And
right?
Jackal looks super awkward, put on the spot, like,
Nana.
Delicate ladles, not a drop spill.
Well, Nana, you put some dough in front of these magic fingers, and I'll show you what.
I don't want
magic
another word
hands
about
can
your
do.
magic fingers. We still have to have that conversation.
Also,
Dasku's kind of.
I'll just
Sorry?
Nana, you're sort of also tangentially aware of Gerald sort of just pacing and muttering kind of on your peripheries as well. Not lining up for soup, but sort of just like he's there, not really contributing much, but you know, just
Nervously.
yeah, kind of
Love
just
that.
wanting to be near the Nana energy, you know, which is somewhat soothing,
energy.
you know.
Can I walk
Aaron, you know,
Can I walk up to Gerald and offer him a hot drink?
sure.
Oh,
Do you want to pour from your hot cocoa?
That's damn right. I do want to.
Okay,
do that.
roll the d6.
that was
oh
Quite-
no, this
quite
could
nice.
be bad.
that was quite nice last time, Arthur. Thank you.
Normal hot cocoa. It's very hot though, but it's so tasty.
Oh,
Here you go, Gerald. Hopefully this can calm you down a little bit, mate. You
thanks.
seem to
Arthur.
be out of sorts.
It's been quite a night, and what was her name? Lorinda. What Lorinda said is kind of put more things churning in there. Like, I'm a little bit concerned about which one came first. Like, is the lack of the storm the problem, or and these things are now coming because the storm's gone, or are these things here and they've caused the storm to not come? Oh, and there's the pit things and the ground with the hands and the stabbing, and this entire thing's getting out of hand, Arthur.
I pat your back, Gerald. Look, mate, it's okay. Put my arm around you. Mate, look, mate, let's just go sit down with Nana. You love her food. They'll make you feel better. Let's try and have a good night's sleep and, you know, get through this together.
You're probably right, Arthur.
I would like Gerald to roll a charisma save.
Charisma save. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Interesting.
got good news for that. Hopefully. That was almost a
It's
2.
fair. There's a tickle in the back of the mind, and you feel a very strong urge to dig out your book.
Have I had this before?
You probably have, and you don't like it, but there's it's
It's there.
you just have the urge. It's like the book is calling to you.
I kind of like
Interesting.
put one hand on my sort of bag where it's kept, and sort of just I don't pull it out in front of everyone. If I'm resisting.
Hmm?
But I'll check it later.
Okay, very fair. How would you like to continue this evening as you are congregating around the soup kitchen?
I would like to kind of stand up and grab the closest drink next to me, which could be whatever it is, and just want to sort of toast to the surrounding people and saying, you know, there's many not tough nights ahead of us, and hopefully we can get this together. But whatever things you guys need, let us know. We shall help you as much as we can before we have to leave. Trying to cheer morale up.
And morale is cheered, and there's immediately someone who Rudy notices as the little girl's father, who walks up to you, Arthur, and says, I'll take you up on that. I could use some help over patching up some tents before we try to get to sleep. It's gonna be cold for those who don't have proper sealed tents. You know.
I turn over
cold.
to
If you think it's cold now, just wait until in a few hours. It's going to be bad.
I turn to Dagoose and Rudy and go, gentlemen, we need to help patch some things up. You want to come and give us a hand?
That's
Nana?
Yeah.
happy to jump up and assist in that.
Oh,
Nana,
Rudy's
you
good with
still
his hands. Let's go.
people?
Eh? Sorry?
You alright serving people still, Nana? You don't need any help?
Yes, no, I've got Jekyll here. You know he's
No,
very good help.
I kind of pat Gerald on the back.
Very good help.
And
Gerald on the back.
Jekyll has now set up what looks like a metal bucket above the cauldron, and just been filling it with snow and sort of boiling snow down into safe to drink water, and then refilling the cauldron over and over.
Smart.
Yep.
Smart.
So as I walk off to the tents to help, I want to pat Gerald on the back to kind of comfort him, as he's having a hard time. So hopefully the pat and no words will make him feel better.
Just a reassuring
He's just
pat.
like, oh.
Daskus follows suit with a pat as well.
He just like face like straight down on the desk, like whap. John. What was that for, Duskus?
And you were sure you'd buckled your backpack, but your book is now out in the snow.
Oh, I scoop it up and sort of look at it, and I might turn in early, friends. And
as you say that, there's a person walks up to you and says, we've arranged for you all to be to sleep over here," and gestures as one of the tents that has been safe from the fire, and says, the family living here, my family, we'll be sharing with another tent for the night, and you can all stay in here.
oh, that's very, very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll.
Does Nana notice anything's off about Gerald? About her boys?
You
I mean,
probably...
Gerald is always a bit off. is the problem.
And you know that Gerald has this book, but to you it just looks like any old book.
It's a spell book. Yeah.
All right. And he did have soup. Otherwise, I won't notice. But he did have soup.
Absolutely, he had soup. Yes.
Okay.
And he's had hot
probably not.
cocoa.
And hot cocoa. Yeah.
That's fair.
So he's all
Add in.
And the final splash of hot cocoa is now spilled on the ground.
Oh.
So yeah, Gerald's gonna turn in and maybe have a bit of a flip through this book because something's a bit off.
And we'll get to that. But what are the rest of you doing? Nana, are you still just keeping that soup going?
Yeah, I feel like by now, Nana has probably pressured people into having seconds or maybe thirds, so everyone's probably pretty full at this point. She's like one of those little Italian grandmas that's like, that thing.
And you have noticed that some people have gladly accepted the soup, but also brought maybe complimentary food to eat with the soup from their own housing.
I think after Jekyll brought all that other stuff, I think Nana's okay with it. She's like, oh, he didn't try and poison my stew, so it's okay. Although I do feel like you said the elder was there, and Nana doesn't always meet other old ladies, so maybe a bit of a bit of introduction.
Solid old lady time in. Yes.
Solid old lady time, She might have introduced herself while she was giving her a bowl, like, oh, hello, my name is Melivora. You can call me Nana Melivora if you'd like. Kind of that kind of thing.
Lorinda, and she takes a bowl, but she's very much you can see she sits down, and someone is very quick to like put out a little pelt on for her to sit on the ground, and a handful of people have like congregated in like half circle around her, and they're just talking. They're looking for reassurance, and she's just talking calmly about thankfulness for the people who came and saved them, and people are asking like, "Where's Tura? Where's Tura? Tura went to talk to the dragon. What's going on?" And
Oh.
and she's just like, "You all know Tura. Tura goes off. Tura comes back." And
I don't
just
know
try to
Tura.
reassure people. She just pipes up.
I don't know Tura.
And they look over at you. No one is like looking at you weirdly. They're just like giving you the attention for
For
speaking
like
up.
a brief second, which is all she wants, really.
And Lorinda says, Tura is what you could call a guardian by proxy of our little village. Tura is special, and after their frost walk came back with something quite special, and there's this little girl there, and who Rudy and Duskus recognizes, who just pipes up, "It was a dragon!"
Well, that is very special. Well done, Tura. Like, I don't know, and she's just very, very impressed. You've impressed Nana. Good job, Tura. Don't even know you yet.
Well, I imagine by this point, Arthur, Rudy, and Duskus have followed Mysterious Gentleman.
Yeah, generic NPC number 3. And you've been given both like needles made out of bone and with some thread, and you're just working. You're patching tents. There's some sort of adhesive being used, and it smells really foul at first. While because the person walks over with a little metal canister of sorts to one of the fires, the smaller fireplace, not where Nana Malivora is making the stew. Heats it up, and it's just this foul-smelling, sticky liquid, and just sort of with some sort of, it looks almost like a spatula of sort, and just smears it around, fastens a piece of hide or leather, and then just tells you to sew it shut. And you do that a few times. Some of the smaller tears or holes you just sew together as is. That doesn't need patching. And it's time consuming but not difficult.
Okay.
I would like to continue the rest of the night sort of patching those holes, and then after they're done, I would like to retire.
Yeah, and you're all being guided to the tent where Gerald snuck away into.
Rudy just can't help but notice just how deft Duskus is at the sewing. Like it's just I don't know. It's just like beautiful mastery. I don't know where he learned it.
And you they're almost like a tiny embroidered flower.
Oh.
From his days of leatherworking with his father.
Oh,
Before he became Duskus, he wanted to take over the business, but Duskus now has a new mission in life. A little adventure.
to be Duskus, the best
Did
goose
Duskus
you
make
can
his own little hat? Please let me know. Did Duskus make his own little hat and shawl?
Duskus made the beautiful outfit, but the coif he got off of the great dire goose when he defeated it.
Understandable. Yeah.
So
And
unfortunately, this
it's
is not my
pretty much
craftsmanship, but
it's
this.
the coif is just a scalp giant goose.
Well,
Masterful work.
yeah.
Uh,
Love that.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, because this is the same gentleman that the little girl was pointing out, wasn't it? Isn't he? Sorry. So Rudy, like, because I mean, we're all at the one tent, sort of sewing and whatnot. Rudy sort of just brings up, so had the young girl before mentioned, you might have seen something out in the darkness before this attack, or
What scene? No, well, we saw the lights, and then the lights came over, and they were setting everything on fire, and it turned out to be these creatures.
what? Do you know
I'm-
what direction they came from, or?
Yeah, south-ish, southwest almost, maybe.
Okay. And just a bit of curiosity. Have there been any visitors to this village lately?
Well, we had one person coming through a few days ago, but didn't even stop. Even though it was getting late afternoon when they arrived, just passed on by.
Interesting. And I'm assuming they exited south, and that was the direction they went in.
Could have been.
Mm-hmm.
Can't properly recall.
Interesting.
Could have been a similar direction.
Southeast.
We're just thank you. We're sort of just heading that way ourselves, and we're actually sort of investigating that gentleman. So yeah, any information is very, very helpful. Thank you. I appreciate the assistance.
Do you remember how he looks? What he looked like?
Bugman.
No, actually I can't. I know there was someone, but I can't recall any features. It's strange, really.
Was he just like hair color or like what?
No, I know there was someone, but now that I'm thinking about it, I really can't recall details. It looks almost shocked, like
yeah.
himself.
We only had the one parchment that had the bug image on it, didn't we? I'm not
Yes,
sure who
and
actually had it.
Arthur has it.
Arthur has it. Of course he
Arthur
does.
has it, yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
well, there you go. Okay.
He's
But
got everything.
Arthur is with you.
Oh yeah, there's with him. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Rudy sort of looks a little bit to the right. He's like, oh, Arthur. Oh, when did you get it? Arthur, hey.
I kind of just look at him like, what the?
Like, I've been here the
you
whole
on?
Arthur, do you have the parchment with the image, the symbol?
Give me a quick second. I think I left it in my pants. Or it could be my other pants. I think it's in these pants.
No. Oh my god.
So we should.
Move your pants.
There you go for chat. That's the symbol they're talking about.
Yes.
How do
Wrong symbol, wrong symbol.
I was about to bring up the symbol for my chat, and then I remembered I'm not streaming. So,
I don't know how to bring up the symbol.
so Rudy shows the symbol to the gentleman. He goes, "Does this help jog the memory at all?"
Looks at it a little bit, sort of turns it upside down, looks over to you. Is it... Looks almost like some kind of skull?
Okay.
Is this a skull? I'm not too sure what all of these squiggly things are.
Rudy, it's clearly he doesn't know what it is. Can I grab that parchment back?
But no, it doesn't look familiar. Sorry.
That's okay.
And gives
No.
it back.
No, that's fine. Thank you. You've been a wonderful help. Just knowing that there has been a gentleman who passed through here, going vaguely in the same direction. That does help us out immensely. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's just
sure.
kind of
And
turns
thank
to
you
Rudy.
for the help. Gestures at like the patching in the tent.
At this point, Rudy realizes he has stuck his hands with the sticky stuff to the tent. Maybe he's not as deft at sewing as he thought.
Amazing.
It's like, yeah, help.
I go then help Rudy and whisper and see you gone.
And it's just
You noob.
it's actual like glue.
Arthur's like got the glue panel just like behind his back. Daskus, help!
Oh, yeah. That's what
And it does come off, but you probably like lost the top layer of your fingertips.
Oh my god.
Yo, imagine that.
The very center of my power! It was in the fingertips!
Oh my god.
Can we glue fingertips back to fingers?
Please tell me Daskus tries.
Rolls for
So
it.
like takes a small knife and carefully peels the thin layer of skin
Oh
off
my
from
God.
the glue.
It's just like leather work, right? I bring out needle with sword.
Oh my god.
Just takes out the bone needle and like, you want me to sew it back on?
You know what? Daskus, I'll rest up on this one. I'll just rest up on this one. Maybe cast a little magical moment. I'll be okay. I'll be alright. Thank you, Daskus. Thank you though.
Okay.
I
We'll grow
wanna
back
move
with
over to
calluses,
Gerald.
Extra strong fingers.
Oh my god.
Yes,
Gerald,
paging through the Book of
Sit.
Shadows.
you're paging through, and you know that to most people it looks like a normal spell book, or sometimes it looks empty,
Mhm.
but it's very much like the movie Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, or like Voldemort's diary, where
Yeah.
it writes to you.
Ah,
It just, and as you open it and you flip through, you get to a page where it looks like in very wet, dark red ink. Could be blood, but you don't want to think about it. It just writes, and it writes. It talks to you.
oh no.
It's not just like casually writing. There's just words appear on the page that say, "How much of a coincidence do you think it is?"
Oh shit. This book is spooky.
I mean, enough of a coincidence that it's probably not a coincidence book.
Are you just saying that to the book?
Yeah. I don't think Gerald
And you
fully
get-
appreciates how it works.
And
Even with his vast knowledge he has now.
and words appear again, like written out. Ha ha. And then it says,
LOL, get wrecked, Scrub Lord.
I love this book already. Oh, man.
Add the book to the party. Gosh darn.
and then words appear that says, "Do you want to know?"
Gerald kind of like looks at those words and kind of touches the circlet on his forehead. He's like, I mean, knowing's better than not knowing, I think. Yes?
And in the book, you just get it. Now it's more drawing, but it's one of these where someone just puts a droplet of ink and it spreads out, but it starts taking shapes.
Mm.
Like an ink blob.
And yeah, it's just like a thick ink blob, and then it just spreads out and it forms images.
It's a bird, cloud, flower,
Oh my god.
jackal, it's a jackal.
It hesitates for a moment. It sort of stops, but then continues, looking for you to be quiet.
Sorry, I'll let you work. Go on.
And it spreads out, and it forms a small skull, and then it forms a very crude interpretation of the small creatures you encountered.
Mm.
And then it forms a fly very similar to the one on the image that Arthur carries.
Mm.
And then just a circle around all 3 of them.
Oh, so the fiery things and our fly masked friend are linked. What is the skull though? I don't. Or is this the undead perhaps? The skeletons we encountered earlier. More questions. Perhaps.
And then just an exclamation point, and then it just wipes clean. The page is blank.
Interesting.
And feel a chill. Like all of a sudden it feels so much colder in here.
Gerald kind of like pauses and looks at the blank page for a moment and then sort of snaps the book shut and he's like
And as you close the book, you realize there's a prick in your forefinger, and there's just blood dripping from it. And it looks like it's been there for a while. You have it like dripping down your finger.
Oh. That's don't remember leaving a thumbtack on here. Oh well. Doesn't hurt at least.
And if nothing else, you all eventually crawl into this tent. And it's not small, but it isn't big. You can all fit comfortably, but you don't have, it's not like you have a lot of wiggle room. But you can all fit in here and put all of your gear in here.
I want to be come
Good
in.
thing I'm
Remembering that Gerald was having such a bad night, I actually come up and snuggle with Gerald.
Aww.
Of course you do.
That's cute.
That's cute.
Is Gerald asleep by the time we get in?
Well, fitfully, yes. Like he's
Yeah.
asleep, but he's kind of like tossing and turning and murmuring a bit.
Well, I definitely come and cuddle him to try and calm him
Which
down.
is normal for Gerald, but it's a bit more than usual, perhaps.
Alright, I'm definitely cuddling with you. I'm snuggling with you, mate.
Gerald doesn't wake. He doesn't know any better.
Daskus would like to take a position like kind of close to the entrance of the tent and just kind of like sleep, just to kind of like sort of be close to action if anything were to happen.
Just
Someone
the
would-
dog at the foot end of the bed, just curled up by the entrance.
The watch goose. That's what.
Yeah.
Just watch Goose.
For someone so small, they sure do give Nana a little extra space because they know she kind of likes to gnome kick in her sleep a little bit.
Oh
Like
my
with
god!
her little arms just a little bit.
There's the kicker.
Just thrashes around.
I
in
just
Yeah.
had like
incredible amount.
I just had an image in my head of like when Dusk Goose kind of like curls up to go to sleep. Can it be in such a way that the goose head naturally sort of ends up tucked under a wing or something?
Like he himself actually looks like
like a little nesting goose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The last thing Rudy does before he gets into a very fitful sleep, I might add, because you know he has nightmares about his fingertips, is that he without Duskus knowing, he did actually grab one of the fingertips, and he's got like that small dab of glue, and he's like,
Oh my god.
and then he gets back to sleep.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yes, Daskus influence.
He can't take the risk. He's gonna have at least one finger functioning, you know.
Dusk Loosed.
Just
His sculpt is growing.
Excellent.
Lovely.
And if nothing else, you can all in D&D Beyond, I believe you can click the button called Rest and choose a long rest.
Long rest.
And it
time.
should reset all your features, spell slots, and HP.
There we go.
Oh no.
All refreshed and lovely.
There we go.
Wunderbar.
Is it under actions?
Oh, it's right up the top.
Yeah.
There's a short
You got
rest
your-
button above your speed.
It didn't fix up my health.
Wait, is
Sorry.
it rest or short rest? Sorry.
Long rest.
Long
Long
rest.
Yeah.
Confirm.
So
That
yeah, so
long
click
rest.
click it when it goes confirm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
click
yeah, yeah.
take
Here
long
we go.
rest and then confirm.
Gotcha.
Yes, and it should automatically reset all of your spent resources.
It
Yes.
has.
Which is lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely.
And I think we'll take a 5-minute pee break for those who needs it.
I definitely need it.
Yeah, me too.
Yep.
Yes.
Very good.
So to that be right back scene.
That'll
Oh,
be good.
Yes.
I've
I'm gonna leave my chat with you guys, looking at your beautiful faces because I am. So deal
well, I
with
had
it.
a
I
bit of a request for
I
a bit
might
of
do
a,
the same.
a recap on what the story is so far, just to
Yes.
catch people
Give
up
everyone a
little bit.
recap.
Go for it. Go for it.
Because someone was asking in my chat what the story was. So, now this is going to be imperfect, and you'll have to forgive me for missing any bits. But the general gist of it is that we're a band of adventurers who are together as part of the sort of the nation's equivalent of an adventuring guild or what have you. I'm not sure if they have a specific name or not, but that's sort of what we're part of, and we've been tasked to come down to this sort of archipelago of ice islands, basically, to investigate and track this particular man who has this particular mask, which is what this mask symbol looks like, basically, and. So we arrived in Troll Hut, and people came by boat. People were pretty nice to us, and they also offered us a side job of taking a cart of goods on a sled south to the town that we're currently at. However, it came to light when we were there that normally this whole region is covered in some sort of a blizzard or a storm that sweeps over the land like clockwork, and it's a special magical blizzard, basically, that has a number of positive benefits once it passes for the lands. One of those things is that some of the children that are born in these lands are kind of sickly, and they had a particular name for them that I can't quite remember. But the way that it works in this land is the sickly children who are affected by this this thing that they're born with, when the magical blizzard passes over them, they come out the other side kind of reborn with like powers or physical changes and all kinds of things like that. We found one person who had who could produce scales all over them like a dragon. And in fact, dragons are pretty heavily featured through here. So like all of these lands have a kind of like almost like a dragon patron in a way, or some sort of like there's some hot lands, which is and this is a literal dragon, not a metaphorical dragon either. These are literal dragons, where there's like a hot one who's like boiling some sands constantly. He's sleeping under some sand somewhere. This is kind of the region of where the cold one should be, and they sort of call the blizzard essentially like the dragon's breath in a way, or similar vibes, right?
I could answer any lore-related questions.
I've been trying to do my best to do like a little mini recap to catch sort of people up swiftly, but yes, and we've got a number of party members here. Obviously, Arthur Albert III, our ranger elf. We've got Nana Melivora, our gnome druid, Gerald, the wizard, but my class is actually warlock. We've got Rudy Magic Hands McGee, our cleric, and Das Goose, our barbarian. So we got given a bunch of frozen provisions with this permanent permafrost ice, and we come down south and this whole town was on fire, and that's where we are.
And Dutch Daddy Gamer just wrote in my chat, we can ask lore questions? What's gonna happen next? And I dare say that's not a lore question.
That's a future question.
Called out. Get him. Get him. Ban him. Ban him. Permaban. Right there.
But I don't
Anyone?
know what is gonna happen next.
That's right.
I want to take a moment. This is something I usually do in my home games. Since this game is to start with, we're just going to play. Next week will be probably the last session of this adventure for now, and then we'll see what happens. But in my big home game that's been going on for, I think we're reaching our second or third year anniversary on New Year's Day.
Ooh.
Usually at the end of every session, I ask the players what their characters want to do. Like, what's the character's current goal? What does your character feel like doing next? So as you're all sleeping, what are your characters thinking? Like, what parts of the information you've been given do you feel that your characters would act upon?
Daskos would be very interested in that dragon. You're like, I want to find the dragon. See what all the deal is with that. Maybe he's still unsure about that, but he at least wants to see a dragon.
Arthur Orbit the Third is definitely just wants to head south and find out why the storm's not here. He also is feeling very guilty with trying deception, more payment or supplies out of the older lady. With that also though, he wants to be more self-confident and be more cooler as what the team thinks what he thinks the team thinks he is cool as. So
okay.
Daskos thinks Arthur is very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Arthur doesn't know that.
Nana would like to... I mean, Nana's pretty happy with everyone's work from yesterday. I think before they head out, she would like to do one last sort of check and make sure the village is, okay. Because she gives a lot of tough love. She might be, smacking people with wooden spoons, but she, actually... She's not gutted by the death, but she does think it's preventable, and she's old enough to know that it's not her fault necessarily, but she does wish they could have, obviously saved the driver, saved the there's regret there, but not self-blame, because she's just old enough to know the difference between this is your responsibility and this is your personal failure. She is very interested in what they said about Tura bringing home the special dragon thing, and she wants to know more about that, but she figures she either has to get Lorinda alone or ask the others what they know. So I think she wants to follow up that little lead, probably with Dusk, since he wants to see a dragon.
Dragon.
Yeah, I think that's probably what she's thinking.
Are we talking more long-term goals or just short-term, what to do tomorrow?
I thought tomorrow.
I'd say short term.
Okay.
Short term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, short term, Gerald is sort of mainly his short term goal is just survival, because he generally feels like death is around the corner for him at every waking moment and sleeping moment for that matter.
But does he feel better with my snuggles?
Unconsciously, I reckon he probably does. but no. It's just this place is raising more and more questions, and sometimes answers are frightening, but the unknown is more terrifying for Gerald. So he's he's just worrying basically. But I guess as far as what he wants to do is his drive is to get, because he's kind of on these missions because it's kind of what he has to do, and kind of what he feels he's being urged to do, but he wants to sort of also get it over with as quickly as possible so he can get back to relative safety.
Because I almost imagine Gerald's reasoning and motivations for joining an adventurers guild would be to maybe in the back of his mind he knows that he needs to travel to find out what's actually going on.
Yeah, exactly. And also the fact that like adventurers are, you know,
Get far away from where he came from.
exactly. Yeah, it's like it's a way of traveling away from where he was. It's a way of being around capable people in case something happens.
Safety
And-
numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that, you know, he can actually join an adventurers party, you know, with the skill set that he has now. So he just feels like it's a vaguely safer place to be with them rather than to be alone. So, but he wants everyone to not be here ultimately.
He just
Ultimately, away
wants to
from being.
retire safely,
That's right.
knowing that he is safe.
That's right. But there's a constant looming threat of all kinds of stuff.
Has Gerald ever tried getting rid of the book?
Ooh, I don't think he has.
Because I'd say that's conflicting fears. Because he'd
Right.
be afraid of the book, but afraid of the consequences of getting rid of the book.
That's
maybe.
right. Because the book is
Balls it
also
out.
a good, like, it's also part of his cover, right? So he's kind of like,
Yeah.
but I think like the using it as a cover is also kind of like a self-deception, like a self, what's the word? Or he's kind
Preservation.
of like, not preservation, but he's kind of like, he's kind of reasoned it to himself that that's why he's keeping it.
Okay.
Because it's like, oh, I need it for the cover. It's like it's a scary thing, but it's also sort of, yeah, on balance, it's still neutral whether it's good or bad to have it. So he's keeping it.
Is everyone ready to keep going?
Yes.
We are ready. Wait, did Rudy say what he wanted to do?
No,
I think so. Okay, then Rudy, I'm sorry. You can-
I was like desperately thinking of something. Yeah, look, Rudy
Hold on.
is he's a little bit like, because like these powers he has, you know, he's trained with them a little bit, but as we've said multiple times, Josie, clerics and the gods, they're relatively new, right? To this world. They're not. They're not something that's been around for a long time. Yeah, there's tomes around maybe that he's learned from, but a lot of it is, you know, relatively new. So like the urge to, because I think when we fought the skeletons, there was like this overwhelming, like he felt the rage, or not really rage, but like the drive to, you know.
Yeah, it was
purify them.
more of a justification. Like you
Yeah.
felt that these things, for the greater good, things need to be destroyed.
But they didn't. That feeling didn't come from within. It came from external. You know, it was like it came to him. You know, like how his powers come to him. So it was kind of like, this hasn't really happened before, or at least not too often. And then same with like the fight with the fire guys. It was kind of like that explosion of heat and healing energy, you know, at the side of the flames. Like this is all like, it's weird. This journey seems to be not empowering him, but like leading him to discover, enlightening him. Yes, exactly, to further his powers. So he's kind of like, what's the connection here between, you know, this journey, you know, his strength and whatnot. So I mean, yes, he would like to get down, you know, I think short term, the mystery of what's going on with this undead, you know, I think he's very focused on the task, very focused on keeping the group on the task as a whole, but
Thanks, Dad.
personally
You are real bad.
but personally, he's just like, what the hell is going on? Why is his, you know, his spirituality so attached to this, you know, the events of the previous day?
And as sort of like a DM meta help, Rudy and Nana, you are considered prepared spellcasters, and you just had a long rest. You can change your spells.
Hmm.
Ooh.
I think I'll, for now, because I'm not prepared, I didn't think to go through it all before the session.
No.
But
If there is a spell that you felt like, okay, this didn't come into use, I'd rather have something else.
okay,
Mm,
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Yes,
okay.
whenever you do a long rest, you can change them out.
spells? Oh, I didn't know. Okay.
Which
well,
spells
I
you have
definitely like
available for the day.
and I
Yeah, but Arthur and Gerald cannot. Their spells are pretty much locked.
Very much so.
okay. Cool.
You guys all had like this retrospective kind of think whilst you're getting ready for bed and all this jazz, and Duskos is just like, dragon.
I want to see a
I
dragon.
must see dragon.
To be fair, that is, I would say, equally worthy, if not more worthy of a goal than what some of us have. Like,
Oh,
let's be real, you know?
You're very focused, you know? You're very determined and focused. Yeah.
Duskos is a simple man. He has his goal and he focuses on it.
So I like to try and wake up earlier than the rest of everyone else and go
Yeah,
outside.
and as a ranger, you could definitely have that as a habit.
I mean, as an elf, you don't really sleep anyway.
Yeah. Also, since this is D&D, and I keep the world was created with Pathfinder concepts, but in D&D, elves do not need full sleep.
So I go outside and I'm kind of just outside taking care of morning ablutions. And then before everyone else wakes up, I want to be outside doing some push-ups. When they will come out, they just see me doing push-ups.
In the snow with the heavy winter clothing
Yeah.
on.
Did you wait
yeah.
specifically for one of us to come out before you start like, oh yeah, oh.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do
Just the
one,
excessive
209, 210. I want to do that specifically.
I think Nana probably wakes up second, even because she's so used to like making everyone breakfast, right? So I feel like that's probably the thing, and she can sometimes beat Arthur when he wakes up and sometimes just not, and she kind of just comes out and like sees him going like 208, 209. She goes,
Also, I'd say after centuries of gardening, she probably gets up early to like check on things. She has that habit set in.
Once I notice the snow, I just on the snow because Nana's old, I'm old, so I'm just like, hurry up quick.
yeah, no, we're like,
So I'm just like, all right, I'll wait for the next one to start doing it again.
And
Duskos probably wouldn't wake up until he like starts smelling food. He's gotten used to that. Like once he won't wake up until he smells Nana's cooking, and then he's like, ready for food.
And those of you who wake up early, you can tell that there's like 4 people around the sled, curious. They're not touching it, but they are curious and inspecting it, like very much like in Storage Wars. They're doing the look, no touch.
okay. I guess we go. Oh, well, Not me, Nana. Let's just make that clear.
All of a sudden, dinosaur.
Raptor kills everyone in the village. Okay. Nana probably. I mean, she wants to make breakfast, but like that is the sled that we've kind of been carrying, and I feel like Nana might be a little curious about what's in there because we kind of saw like one box, but that curiosity. So.
I kind of noticed that Nana actually stumbles off in that direction and not make breakfast. So I've kind of gone off the floor and try to catch up to Nana's little legs.
Yeah, little legs walk fast. Walk with a purpose.
How did you sleep, Nana?
Oh, I slept fine. How did you sleep? Oh wait, you don't.
Well, yeah, it was warm at least. Gerald's a very good cuddler. He kind of rolled over and I was Little Spoon for a little while. So, it was quite comfortable.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, I'm very interested in what is in these boxes. And then I think we've probably reached the villagers.
Yeah, I did say so.
It's not big. It's not too big.
Okay. And I don't want to be Nana doesn't want to be too direct with them, but she's pretty curious, and So she is a little bit direct because she doesn't really beat around the bush, let's be real. She's lived way too long for that shit. So she just kind of goes up to one of them and she says, do you know what's in there? Because I sure don't.
I don't know. You can't ask people what's in the box, all right? You can't go to people and ask that.
And they just, the people around just look at you like, do we, what? Do I reply?
It's rude to ask what's in their box.
And they kind of look at you. We did you all brought these? We assumed you knew what was in them?
No, we didn't know anything. We were given some rules to be
And
told.
you say that they get a little bit more cautious, like a half step away from the sled.
Suspicious.
We were just basically given some directions and told us to reach this village with the supplies. The original driver had passed away on the way here. We ran into some bad trouble with some skeletons. But look, we were told to just bring it here and you guys know what to do with it. So how about you open it up and we'll, if there's something bad with it, we'll deal with it.
Nana is bursting with curiosity. Oh! She's very excited.
Alright, well, we'll get Nana to open it. Nana?
There's no starting, the village is starting to wake up, so anyone else who wants to wake up? It's
Grace is probably still sleeping.
Yeah.
open house on the waking.
I think Nana probably tries to open a box but can't because she's
I
a
can just
little
picture
like,
your little hands.
muscular than she used to be. She's probably
Tries to shove her ladle in under the
and
lid.
she's like crowbarring it. It's not working.
I said to Nana, look, I'll go wake up Goose. Goose will open this in no time. So I run back to the tent. I not do tap tap tap. I actually have to go Goose, like give him a whack on the arm. Wait, Goose, we got something for you to open. You wanna...
Okay. So he gets up. He does like a big stretch, and then he walks out.
As I'm in there, I kick Rudy's feet and Gerald's feet and tell him to wake up.
Rudy's like, because he can hear all the hubbub, like, obviously, you know, he kind of knows what's going on. He was waking up anyway, especially with the honk that Dust Goose woke up with.
Yeah,
so-
I think that we probably do the same for Gerald as well. We're both like, oh, what?
He sort of sleepily asks, Arthur, shouldn't we wait for the village leader or to ask her what she wants to do with her supplies?
Look, Rudy, you can argue with Nana, but it is Nana nevertheless. You know that. Now get your ass outside and let's just deal with what we have to.
Well,
Please tell me Lorinda's up.
what are we doing?
You can see her walking down the slope from
Yes!
her
Okay.
tent.
Yeah.
Okay, because Nana probably has the common sense to wait for Lorinda,
Yeah.
but did want to try,
Rudy reiterates that point to Nana.
like
you know,
with
just
her
like,
ladle crowbar.
she's on her way. We can just wait a couple of moments, and then we'll break out the ladle.
I can just imagine Nana on the crowbar, like hanging on like this, just like.
You might be right.
Need help
You
with
might
that.
be right.
Just considering shapeshifting into something bigger.
Thinking about the draft horse at
You
the
mean?
moment.
Oh, I almost lent into my mic that doesn't exist. You mean the thick horse, yeah?
Oh, the thick horse.
Thick
Big
horse.
horse.
Yes.
that token did not do well on that.
The horse accordion.
What are you talking about?
We need it.
Token
It
We
was
is
need it back.
amazing.
beautiful. It was. It's canon. It is official.
Thick horse.
If I don't turn into the thickest of animals, then I
Horse
don't want to
cube.
be them.
That remember, as the time frame gets closer, the horse gets thinner, more and more thin. So he goes from thick horse to skeletal horse. You know.
I love this. Yeah.
I just if Nana ever turns into an actual dinosaur, it's just all thighs.
A dinosaur.
But see, now I'm imagining this dinosaur that's all thighs just slowly gets like the thighs just shrink in until it's like standing on two little twigs.
Wait, I'm imagining
Sort of
a
falls
raptor, literally a raptor with the biggest, thickest thighs of a T-Rex. Like just
Yeah,
Tiny body T-Rex thighs.
And
got
then
short arms
just
and a big
flexing,
head.
just flexing the thigh.
It's like chiseled stone. That's what it looks like.
I love it.
As you make your way out, Lorinda is coming down. She's coming, and she sort of just takes a few paces away, just leans on her staff, and just looks at you, and just sure. She does just a hand gesture, like, "Go ahead." To Nana, just hanging there, the lady.
Like, oh no, let me help you with that. He doesn't like push her away or anything. He just like grabs it, like puts a hand on the crowbar as well, and just like helps her to like.
And
lever it
for a moment, Nana, you panic as you can hear wood bending, but it's not the barrel.
No! No, stop. Everyone stop. Okay, this is a dumb idea.
And you,
Goose?
like, oh, okay.
Wait, does Daskus let go and the ladle goes boing and Nana goes woo?
not quite, but could have.
It's like a whoa! Into the snow. Like a diving board.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are
It's a
like
wobble.
2 or 3 crates, a barrel, and 2 sacks on the sled.
Have I extricated my spoon?
Yes.
Okay. You may proceed.
Alright.
I like to grab out my dagger and try to pry open.
Daskus does the
Yeah.
same. He's got like his hand axe that he can like try and lever it open.
Yeah, and no problem. You can get it in, push it open, and it's one of the crates is filled with what looks like just it looks almost like braided, you know, like what are they called? I don't know the English word, but when you have like circlets made of like braided flowers,
Oh.
flower crown.
Oh, flower crown. Yeah.
But they are made out of oh, what is again English words? Like fern or evergreen
yeah.
branches.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
So they have this very deep green color, and there's a bunch of like just circles about this big, made out of them. Some are decorated with what looks to be dried berries.
I grab one and immediately put it on his head and call it cute.
And you put it on your head.
No, Nana's head.
Oh my god.
On Nana's head, it's like pointy. It doesn't hurt, but it's uncomfortable. And there's someone behind you who just goes.
I look at Nana and I said to you, you look so cute, Nana.
And I'd say, I see we haven't learned our lessons about putting random objects on heads.
And there's someone just walks up and says, no, those are hanging ornaments. You don't put them on your head. And people are now getting closer as they're starting to see, like, it looks familiar. And Lorinda says, yes, every year around the blizzard we have a little I dare say festival, a festivity, a feast. Let's shorten the word down to a feast. And we
Fucking Christmas.
this is Christmas. This is the
No, what are you talking
freeze.
about?
We are eating a goose.
And we since there isn't too much more than snow and ice, we get some things delivered. Let's see what else there is. And now she walks closer, and as you're opening things up in one of the sacks, you can actually see it's dried meats. It looks like sausages. It looks like cured hams. And they just everyone in the village that sees this just goes like,
Oh, Dascos has to resist. He hasn't had his breakfast yet. He's like,
Can Rudy just take a moment to nudge Gerald 2 seconds, points to one of the remaining crates, and points at the latch that's holding it closed? Like, these guys have been wrenching off lids and everything. That there was actually a latch on them the whole
Yeah,
time.
it's just there's just this tiny little piece of wood that you can just slide
all
and
that do,
open.
yeah. Yeah,
if I went
yeah.
to that.
Yeah, just nudges and just points and giggles for a second, you know. Just
I then
having
turn
fun,
around and
it's
like
fine.
put my muscles up and I go, look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nana knows it's a hanging decoration now. She still has it on. She has a soft spot already. So.
Yeah, and the villagers are now starting to open things up too, climbing on the sled, and Lorinda sort of pokes Rudy with her staff, and in the back of your knee, you almost fall over. Like, could you and your friends come over here, please? And she starts making her way towards the bigger campfire where Nana had. I think your cauldron is still hanging there.
Probably. I don't think I put it away.
And there's still a fire There's still a little bit of fire going, and some people, it looks almost scraped out. Like there's very little food left.
I better make some more.
And if you want to, you can definitely just start heating it up, filling it up.
Can I multitask? Can I listen and heat it up? Would that be rude?
I'd say
I don't
you
know why
can
I'm saying
listen,
this.
but it might be like hard to chime in
Hmm.
if you're like busy doing things. But you
I
can definitely
will-
listen.
Sorry.
Wait, oh, no, what would Nana do? No, Nana would start making food. Yeah, I'll listen, and I'll listen.
I
just
start pouring
Using
hot
control flame, you could easily just get this fire burning a bit hotter.
Mm.
And very quickly after you start cooking, all of a sudden, Jaquel is just there.
A little help.
And you can see the fire isn't actually burning on any wood. There's a metallic big disc, like a huge, like, imagine a big wok.
Oh, yeah.
And Jaquel takes something that looks like it looks thick, it looks sticky, and just scrapes it off on the edge, and it starts dripping down, and it just increases the fire. It looks like lard or some kind of fat, and they're burning fat to keep the fire going.
Oh, okay.
So I'd like to pour everyone here, including Nana's little friend, a cup of hot cocoa.
Okay, roll
Oh my god.
1, 2, 3,
roll
4, 5, 6.
six d6s.
What is he trying to make
I
happen?
can only do 5
And
first.
you have to name who you're rolling for
Oh,
every
this
time.
one's Nana.
Oh my god.
This
Okay.
one is Rudy.
If you burn Jaquel, I'm gonna be so mad.
Okay,
No,
okay, keep going.
This is for Jaquel. For Gerald. The Goose. And obviously, myself.
And none for the village chief, Lorinda.
Oh yes, I do one for her as well.
Oh god, what's gonna happen?
And you notice every time Arthur has to close the canister and open it back up before pouring, it's like this.
Yeah, it's a task.
And you all notice you all have your hot cocoa, but I think it's Rudy and
Yes.
Arthur himself. You look down and there's something bobbing around in the hot cocoa, and it looks white, and it looks fluffy, and it looks sweet.
Oh?
Rudy is a little suspicious considering he hasn't actually drunk any of the liquid before. He's not once has he had some, so he's sort of like drinking it and like.
It's spongy.
I
Very
know what
sweet.
it is straight away, so I start sort of drinking and eating it.
And to anyone wondering, yes, it's marshmallow.
I thought it was a whole lot less wholesome than that.
Alright,
So freaking wholesome.
after watching Arthur not collapse immediately, Rudy follows suit.
and it's just so sweet. It's
Dude, let me
Look,
slash.
Has a
and
1 in 6
sipping
of
on it
having
and looking
nachos, that's
very,
great.
very content. It just looks like Lorinda goes like exponentially more relaxed after one sip of it. Just goes like, oh.
Lovely moment.
And says, well, you've all been a great help. Thank you all for last night, and thank you for, well, bringing our ordered goods over. We'll probably be setting up all day. It's going to take a while to get all of the things in order, but we'll get there. And if you look over, you can now see some people actually pulling pieces of wood, just like chopped wood, piles of it, out of one of the crates.
Would you
Yes,
do you
it'd
want
be-
help with putting all
No,
of this
no,
up?
we're
think-
fine. I would like to ask all of you for one more favor.
Of course.
I know
Perhaps-
you've done a lot already, but there is something. You've all heard last night words were thrown around. Tura is usually the one keeping us all safe. When anything does come around, they are the most capable, handling all sorts of beasties, creatures of all sorts, and it's very strange. It's about 2 days ago, I'd say, Tura left to talk with the Chigor, the dragon we've mentioned.
Dragon. That's what's up.
And they haven't come back yet. The dragon doesn't live that far away. She points in the direction of where the little girl had pointed the other night, and you can now see there's like a hill, like far away, that you can. Most of the landscape has been rather flat, but you can see what looks to be like some sort of hill off to the east. Wait, hold that. To the west.
To the west. Got it.
Yeah, sorry. The map was wrong direction in my brain.
I stand up and Goose. Looks like we're gonna meet a dragon.
Yes! Dragon!
And please, when you meet the dragon, sheathe your weapons. This dragon and the village, well, to be honest, the dragon and Tura have, how do we put this, a compact. They have an agreement. They haven't shared too much of how they met or their past, but when Tura came back from the Frostwalk, they had a dragon with them, and the dragon agreed to help keep our village safe. And it's highly suspicious that neither Tura nor Chigor showed up last night. And so I want to ask if you'd be willing to venture over to Chigor's lair and just take a look around.
Of course we can. We can do that for you. Look.
And
Is-
if Tura is there, tell them to come back. It
is
doesn't
the-
feel safe right now.
How long of a journey is it?
Not more than an hour in
Oh.
looks
oh.
around. Good weather.
Would you,
And
is this
I'd
good
say
weather?
there's more. There's more clouds in the sky, but it's still sunny.
Alright,
All right.
sounds
Well,
good.
we better head off as soon as we can for you. I finished my meal, my drink, stand up
Whoa.
and.
Whoa!
Hold
You
on.
think I made a meal that quick? Okay.
Yeah. I damn it. I damn it.
Rudy places
Then
Rudy places the hand on Arthur's shoulder and Dust Goose's shoulder and sort of like tries to force them to sit back down or like squat back down. But like it's more like Arthur kind of moves and Dust Goose doesn't move, so he kind of like is sort of like this. He's like, hold on, guys. So
Sit down and finish your meal.
yes,
Breakfast first, then we.
as Nana says, a nice hearty breakfast first. However, so could you describe this dragon to us, just in case we don't want to meet the wrong dragon, sheath our weapons, and then get eaten?
Rudy, you really think
no.
any
The
other
dragon, the Chigor won't eat you. Chigor is, I dare say, leans in a little bit a softy, but still a dragon.
But more of a description, so we don't get the wrong dragon.
It's a white dragon. I've never seen any other kind of dragon.
Like, you never know. You never know. You can't be too careful with dragons.
Rudy, how many dragons have you met?
Why did you not tell me?
Personally,
You must tell that.
personally, I've met one dragon, Chigor.
Look.
But we all know we all know the stories of the Great Talaj, who was also a white dragon.
Well, either way, I think we should probably head off sooner rather than later, because the longer we wait, the longer our guy's gonna keep going, and the longer we stay here, So
Let's do it. Let's go.
Nana is almost done putting the leftovers in a big old bowl so that she can because she makes too much food, let's be real. And she knows that probably not everyone in the village has had breakfast yet. They don't seem like the type to always make themselves food. So she just I don't know. I am assuming she has a giant bowl somewhere in the bag of holding. And I'm assuming that is where the leftover, I don't know, maybe she made sausages and eggs or something. That's where the leftovers
or does
are going.
does she deputize her new friend?
Oh
Perhaps.
yeah, she goes there. Yeah,
You could just leave the cauldron hanging and just.
Let people
I
help.
thought about it. Am I gonna regret that later?
Do you want to leave the cauldron behind?
Do you want to leave your cauldron
Is it a
behind?
precious
Are we
heirloom?
coming back?
I mean, we're coming
I think
back
we're
here, yes.
Okay.
We had to come back and bring the people back.
All right. Well,
Or at least
she
report, yeah.
Yeah.
has left Jackal in charge of the cauldron, but she kind of just goes up to him and pulls him down a little bit by the sleeve, and he's kind of confused, and she's like, "Okay, guard it with your life." And he does not know what she means at all.
They don't get him
No,
like
just
a stick.
looks you dead in the eye, then looks off a little bit. Yes.
Yes.
Sort of now I'm afraid not to.
Yeah. Our kid is gonna be out there all night.
Guarding this cauldron.
Arthur would like to pick up a stick and give it to him and say, "This is your ladle." All right.
Oh
So,
my
You
God.
look around, no sticks.
oh,
Yeah.
Bad day.
You haven't seen anything resembling a tree since you left Southport.
True.
Mm.
There's just snow and ice.
The background picture is very deceptive.
yes.
That's
Yeah,
just all
I know,
ice.
I
That's
know.
actually all ice. It's not actually trees. It's just ice.
It's just
trees.
Yeah, it's just someone. It's just tiny little pixies going around sculpting ice all the time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or it's just a
Never-
field of
they make
skeletal arms boring up out of the earth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
Gerald fears.
In that case,
But let's,
I then just get up and
yeah.
start getting my things and
once
start
we've
heading off.
eaten, we'll head off in the direction that they send us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I guess Nana's leaving the cauldron, so that's her entire. That's it.
We'll only be
She-
gone for an hour.
You think it's gonna be an hour, but let me tell you, these little legs don't walk that fast. So we're gonna have an hour there, and then we're gonna have to meet them, and then we're gonna have an
Nana,
hour.
you always
That's
ride
three.
on Dusk Goose
Don't worry about that,
anyway.
Nana. He strips up Nana and just pops him on his shoulder.
Nana's still ranting on, walking.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the shoulder, yeah.
Nana's just ranting on Just Goose's shoulder.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And Gerald's just like impulsively apologizing. Sorry, Nana. Sorry, Nana. Yes, Nana.
You gather your things, you head off. The weather is great. It's still cold. The wind is picking up compared to yesterday. It's a biting wind. And now you feel like pretty smart move as Rudy just pulls the goggles down and pulls the mask up, and you're all covered for this.
Yes,
Rudy's
tiny
got
Nana
ya.
goggles.
Rudy's got ya.
Yeah, I assume the goggles were like one size, and the Nanas are just so big, and there's like a tiny piece of string to fasten at the back to adjust it.
Yes.
It's like
It's like sliding up a little bit every so often. Just
It's
to read.
okay, guys.
It's like a full
You can
diving
thank
mask on
me whenever you want to. You know, it's all good. You know, not saying
you-
you.
You're
I
just
thought
trotting
it was-
through the snow, and you realize there isn't a road here. You realize all of a sudden how much the road and the packed and trampled snow of the village,
made
how
it
different
easier.
it is. Because here, all of you except Nana, who's on Dasku's shoulder, it's almost like you're wading through it.
Mm.
And
Oh my God, I'd be lost.
you can see footprints like deep, and they're like I dare say like 20 centimeters deep into the snow. It looks like someone has walked this path, but you've got no idea when, because it hasn't snowed in how long? It's
So-
this static landscape that doesn't seem to change right now.
So in saying that, if Nana was walking, she could technically walk on top of the snow because she wouldn't be heavy enough to get through it.
Sort of.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Maybe.
heavy bag,
I
right?
mean, just still, you know, got
Just-
I don't think
weight.
the snow
Yeah.
is that dense.
Yeah.
Watch it, Rick.
Maybe with snowshoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we don't.
But you're all wading through, and you feel like an hour.
I trust we have
It's
Dust
not
Goose in the
it's
lead
not
for
an
this.
hour. Yeah, it's not an hour away, but you can tell the hour did include trudging through the snow.
Yeah, okay.
It's actually not that far. It's just such slow moving. It's like tedious. It's not like you can just casually walk. You have to constantly just force yourself forward.
I
And you're
kind
wearing
of,
thick clothes. Everyone is building up a sweat.
As
I
we're
kind
trying to...
of,
I'll go on, Alpha.
I kind of want to walk at a little bit of quicker pace, and then accidentally face plant the snow and let it kind of cover me. And as Gerald walks by, I want to go.
I'd say the idea would have been great if the terrain wasn't so just
Dang.
even feel. Everyone sees you falling. Everyone knows
Yeah.
exactly where you
Literally
fell.
everyone
And it's just
sees you fall.
it's just this it's like almost cartoony how perfect the dent in the snow formed after
Yeah.
you.
That's
But
just
just-
like picks up the pace, grabs
hold
the
on.
bottle over.
Play it out for me though,
You're
Alpha.
okay. You're
So-
okay.
Yeah,
You're
so,
you're
like-
falling in the
alright.
snow.
So you fall down in the snow, like everyone's sort of passing, rolling their eyes, and like Gerald is about to pass by.
And I try and scare him, like, die!
Still absolutely gets him. Like
Oh yeah, you were busy thinking about
he
scary
he
things.
saw
and then
it
an
coming,
actual
and it
scary
almost
thing.
it actually made it worse.
It was just a build up. It's like
Yeah.
when you hear the music in a scary movie.
I love
Gerald
it.
was just like, okay, here it
He's like-
comes, here it
he's
comes,
like,
here it
Arthur,
comes, here it
Arthur,
comes,
no,
and then
don't do it,
boom.
Arthur. Don't do it, Arthur.
Still
I get
scared.
up, dust myself back off, have a bit of a giggle, and keep walking.
Oh, I do
And-
that every time.
And then you actually hear a giggle in the snow, like, and then you hear somewhere on the other side of you all, you hear shh 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 shh.
Oh, that's not good.
like to try and perceive what that is.
Perception check.
Roll perception check. Anyone who wants.
Okay.
I will roll. Imagine perception. Imagine rolling.
Arthur,
Okay.
there's
Oh.
just snow in your eyes, and you're too busy laughing at your own
Ooh.
stunt.
Damn, Nana! Okay.
Oh,
Nana.
Nana with that nat 20. Damn.
Not that old.
Oh, Nana.
Yeah, does Rudy want to roll? Yeah, there we go.
it's
Okay.
going, yeah.
Nana is the only one. You don't see it, but you can definitely pinpoint them based on sound, and you can pick out 4 sound. 2 on each side of you, sort of spread out. You can hear like there's one giggling and shortling. One is sort of going like shh, shh, and then there's just two others just like going. Okay, everyone quiet.
Oh. Okay.
And you can now see as you're stopping and looking around, Nana, you can also see ahead of you. The snow almost looks exactly like just even field going up, but you can tell because of how bright the sun is, there's a dip in the snow further ahead, maybe like 100 or so meters ahead. There's just like a hole that goes down.
Oh, awesome. And Nana just kind of goes, ears like a hawk, even though hawks don't have external ears. She's got her phrases mixed up, but she's very, very confident in herself, which we love. And I think she's gonna go and try.
You're gonna jump off Dusku's shoulder.
I'm gonna definitely jump off Dusku's shoulder, which is a
You just
mistake.
disappear.
because
You got like snow up your nose.
And she's gonna start like wading through and being like, "Who's there?" But it's kind of muffled because it's like, "Who's there?"
I don't know how many of you have actually experienced snow, but it is incredibly audio isolating.
Yeah.
Trying to talk through snow, you won't hear anything. So it's more like.
Oh, good. Well done, me. So I didn't warn anyone else about what I had heard before I jumped
Yeah.
off.
Nana, just do. And we're like,
You just
Just
through
start
the
following
snow.
Nana.
And she's got like his little hands like, come on, this way.
Yeah, just little hands pops out.
Because all the snow is like,
There's also some snow knowledge because of the weather, because there hasn't been any active snow. It's cold, but you still have the sun. There is like a layer of just ice on top. You jumped through it, but as you're trying to move, the very top of the snow is just frozen solid, and you can go
boy.
under it or try to climb up and walk on top of it. You could break it, but it would have you take effort like having to break it
Yeah.
as you're moving.
Honestly, gnomes do tunneling. That's fine. Like we're going under. I don't
going deep
know.
now.
We're going deep though. We're going.
gnomes, dwarves, cuddly, you sure?
Oh, no, there are underground. I have done my research. Lucky Duck Girl,
They
there
are called
underground-
they are called Swirfneblets.
Yeah, and they're underground. And I'm gonna take a leaf out of their book and be like, well, that's too much effort. So I'm just gonna keep going under this.
So now we go. Oh my god.
That's
She just
very
you
concerned
see
now.
she
Like, Nana,
just ducks,
Nana, where'd
ducks
you go?
down and disappears under.
So the last thing we see is and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as you're all looking around, Nana, you're digging through, following to where you thought the noise was, and you're digging, and all of a sudden, you're moving snow down behind you, and all of a sudden, in the snow, there's just a face.
Oh,
And you just all of a sudden, in the snow, you just see 2 big buggy eyes, and this like really long nose that looks like it's like made of an icicle.
Oh, and Nana has some choice gnomish swear words just for this occasion, but I don't know them. But look,
And
they
it just-
can't say
it just screams you in the face and jump out of the snow, and you all see this. It looks almost like it's just a flurry of snow that just comes up, and it has it's sort of shaped like a creature, but you can see through it. It's definitely made of snow, but it has this long nose made of ice, and these two big eyes that's just like looking at you.
I like to kind of pull out my dagger and go, man, and start running through
And it just screams and holds its hands up like, ah! No, three more of them pop up like, what's going on?
In response to them screaming, going, I then go, ah!
Which makes Joe go, ah!
And then one of the other ones goes, ah!
And I go, back again. Like, every time they make the noise, I'm going, ah! Ah!
Dasko's just like, honk!
Duskers also make noise!
Rudy's just like standing here going,
Alright, okay, alright.
I kind of quietly yell out, Nana! Nana!
Did I jump up through the ice? I can't remember. I think I did.
You can't like poke through.
Poke through. Okay, because I feel like the surprise got me. You know, I've got a club. It's cool.
I just imagine like the Huns in Mulan when they come up through the snow, but it's like the spoon first.
See,
But it's just a hand holding the spoon that comes up. Like, yeah.
They don't seem to be like attacking us initially, though, right? They seem.
No.
Okay.
They're just as shocked as we are.
I say, who are you guys?
Who we are? Who we are? We are the guardians of the entrance to the dragon's lair. And one of them is being like super melodramatic, and two of the others just looks at it like, wow.
Like, that thing says, including the other two less dramatic ones, and go, okay, you are protectors of what? Sorry, without all the flair?
Yeah, you have to, let's see, we have been summoned to protect the entrance to the lair of the great dragon Chigor.
Who summoned you? The dragon?
Yes.
Okay, have you seen anyone come by?
Just gestures at you all.
Anyone that comes by before us?
What he's trying to say is that we're looking for Tora. Do you know Tora?
Tura, yes.
Yes.
know Tora.
When did they come past? Because we're looking for them. They haven't returned.
Oh, I don't know. It's been a while.
Right.
And you hear a muffled, can you be more specific?
Tura took off in a rush, maybe 2 days ago?
Why did you take off in a rush? Did you hear anything? See anything?
No. I assumed they were speaking to Chigor about something, and then they just came barging out, ran off.
Perhaps you should take us to Chiga then, and perhaps we can.
If you want to pass, you have to answer. And one of them is going like, let me. Fine. You have to answer the riddle. And there's just one of them has just been quiet all this time. It's just standing still, and as it's standing still, you almost forget that it's there, and then it just sort of moves, and you're like, okay, there was one more.
Oh, they're like drag.
There's like 5 now? Okay.
No, there's just 4, but the 4th one is just hasn't said anything, it's just been still.
A very chill dude.
And I'd say Nana is the most probable one. Nana, maybe Gerald, most probable ones to know these. These are called mephits, and they are like servant creatures.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
They're like small elementals that apprentice magicians might summon to use in their research or like as servants. Imagine,
Yeah.
yeah, almost like how someone might summon a fire spirit to keep a fireplace going non-stop and stuff like that.
I feel like Nana's probably seen them, but in like forest form, but not like ice form before.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've probably seen a bunch that looks like just mounds of dirt and like with tufts of grass on them.
I love that.
So
That's
I'd
my
like to
favorite type.
I'd like to turn around to Rudy and go, Rudy, riddles. That's your sort of thing, isn't it?
No.
Well, you always seem to ramble on about some crap.
Wow. Wow.
Tell us this riddle. Is the riddle absolutely necessary for us to go through?
No, but there's also a trap, and we won't tell you about the trap. And one goes like, "You just told them about the trap."
Right. I see. No, it's good. It's fine because they didn't tell us the details of the trap, obviously. So don't worry too much about that. But if we were to say not answer the riddle and walk into this trap, that would probably be bad because we're friends of Tura, right?
Yes.
Yes. So maybe you should just let us on through there. What do you say?
And the super hype one goes like, "Oh."
Oh, let him tell us.
It just breaks down and becomes like almost just like a face visible on the snow. It's just like the eyes and the nose poking up.
Okay. How about this?
Oh, you tell us your riddle.
How about this? You tell us anyway, just for fun, and we'll even answer two. But of course, you still let us through and tell us about the trap, of course. But you can still ask
And
us
it
the
looks
riddles.
up for a moment, and then it becomes really sad again. It says, "I only know one riddle."
Oh no! Gerald's just like, oh. I bet you it's such a good one, though. Right, guys? I bet you it's such... Right?
It may be one, but you worked on it so hard, so it must be an amazing
It must be absolutely worth two riddles, though, I bet.
Yes.
Oh no.
And just one of the other ones comes over and just puts a hand on its shoulder, taps it lightly, and there. I think your riddle is good. What is? I want to know. It's Rudy and Dusgoose. What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm like crouching down. I'm comforting him. I'm like, yes, tell us your riddle. I'm sure it's an amazing riddle.
And as you try to put your hand on it, your glove is just caked in frost.
Just kind of shake it off a little bit.
Rudy is sort of just keeping an eye on the one that's not moving.
And it's just so still, and they don't blink. Their eyes are just like polished snowballs,
Oh,
and it's just standing
that.
there, just.
great.
Staring contest.
Rudy's not trying to do a staring contest. He's kind of like just watching, and he's like, he's sort of like, he's sort of.
And as you're looking at it, it just slowly turns and just faces your direction.
I feel like Nana might have clambered out of the snow hole at this point and maybe
Yeah, and
standing
you feel like if you walk carefully, you can stand upon the snow.
I love that for me.
Nice.
It takes you a few attempts, but first time you're trying to get up, you're using too much force, and the hard layer top just breaks and you fall back down.
It's slow going. It's a slow time. But I want to be up for the riddle, you know? Someone, yeah.
And it's starting. It's like you can see it's sort of like amping itself up. Like, okay, I got this. And there's just one that's almost behind you now. It's just like on the other side, on your left side. It just going like. It just hasn't stopped shortling at all of this happening. and it just goes like, okay. Are you all ready for the riddle?
We've never been more ready.
I'm super prepared.
And it just holds its hand out, and it because you can see an icicle forming in its hand, and it goes like, you pick and pick, but I only grow smaller, and it shrinks down. What am I?
Oh,
And you can see the one that was encouraging it is just like looking away.
Wow.
Just,
Like, oh my god.
wow.
Wow.
And the one that was chortling is now like full on trying to hold its own laughter back. Like,
What about the one that's staring? Is he just
He's still
staring?
staring?
Is he
I love
still
that.
staring?
they're slowly nodding now at you.
Rudy nods back.
Dascos is genuinely complex because he's not used to hearing riddles, so he's like, "Ooh, yes, this is a real thinker. This one."
Just to clarify, do we get multiple attempts at the riddles, or do we just get
And
one?
it looks taken aback. And lets go of the icicle. It looks over to all of the other ones, and then looks at you, leans back, and says, 3 guesses?
It's a-
And the one standing next to it gives it like an encouraging nod.
It's
Like,
like-
yeah. Oh my
But
god.
Rudy sort of turns to look at the rest of his party and sort of like makes a big show of, like, gets his hand out and he's like, it's one. But there's 5 of us.
Three each then, right?
Maybe we have 5 guesses.
and the other one standing next to it sort of like steps out in front. No, the rules are 3 guesses per riddle. No, there will be no altering the deal.
Okay.
Deal? I wasn't aware we entered any deal.
Well, if you don't answer to the riddle, we won't tell you where the trap is.
All right. Fair enough. Nana wants to huddle up. Real quick.
Huddle time.
Huddle time. Huddle
Wait,
time.
do we all have to
Huddling
like
up.
lie on the ground to huddle with
Yes.
Nana? Because
You
Nana
have to
obviously
crouch,
crashed
okay?
down.
Well,
Like,
no,
Like,
because Nana's up on top of the ice. We're all in the snow, so we're
Oh,
actually the same
yeah.
height, basically.
True. All huddling up. Dascos like turns to the little guy and is like, "This is a good riddle. I like this riddle." And then he walks back over to the huddle.
Validation. I love that. Riddle validation. Good job, Duskus. And Nana would like to, because she knows we only get 3 tries, right? So she's like, we should discuss before we say anything, okay? And she looks at Duskus specifically.
And all of a sudden, you just realize that the one that asked the riddle is just like in the huddle, like, yeah.
And this does not surprise her at all. And she's like, all right, well, come on, it's fine.
I'd just
So-
like to
It's
note
just in there, like, looks like it's just happy to be a part of it.
I love that.
I'd just like to note that when Nana was looking at Duskus, Rudy was staring daggers at Arthur about answering and speaking and like, jumping in. Just...
I see.
Oh my goodness. So I have a thought, but I don't want to make it an answer yet. So I was thinking some sort of mineral or rock, because everything that I pick grows back just fine. And she's thinking about all those potatoes and carrots that she could just grow at will. So she's probably forgetting something, but she's like, no, a rock would make sense. Yeah, it's a rock. So that's Nana's guess. That's it.
What if it's some kind of like you pick at it? It's like a sculpture or something. Like you pick it, you stab at it, and it gets smaller and smaller. Is it like statue?
And the little method goes like, or is it pick as in picking, and motions like it's like taking things.
Yes. Well, that's a very interesting point, little one. Maybe.
Yeah. I see it was a mistake to let him in here now. Okay.
And it starts leaning against Duskus, and there's just frost forming.
Never mind. He stays put. He's like, that's very
Oh my
interesting.
goodness.
And anytime Rudy looks up, it's almost like the staring one has gotten a little bit closer.
Fighting his own battles over there. Wow.
I like to offer the one that's in the group with us a drink.
It looks at you.
No!
Do you hand it a cup of hot cocoa?
Arthur, no.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
The dagger stare! The dagger stare!
As you hand the cup over, it takes it and it just goes like, thanks! Pours it all over itself, and it just freezes over and then falls through it. So there's no like a frozen brown stain in the snow.
Okay.
And then it just goes back to like,
Okay.
let it be.
I was like, oh god, Arthur.
But I want you to roll a d6 to see if there's marshmallows stuck to
Oh,
it now.
yeah. Come on.
Yes!
No marshmallow.
What marshmallows?
Oh god.
God dang it.
No marshmallows.
Arthur, what if that had hurt him?
You didn't know that.
Well, you didn't
I didn't know
either.
that.
Exactly, it's why you should not. Do the
He
thing.
looked thirsty.
Yeah, I'm starting to think
It's an
Dust
ice
Goose.
method.
I'm starting to think Dust Goose has more impulse control than Arthur. And that's
Absolutely.
a scary thought. That's a very scary thought. The
I
barbarian
agree.
has. Thank you. If the barbarian has impulse control, we have problems.
And it's just sort of, it's like petting, it's petting Dusku's like downy cloak, like,
Look, Daskos is very simple-minded. When he focused on something, it's like all of his brain cells is on that, so he doesn't even notice what's going on. It's just like,
Okay, well, this is the time to say that Rudy, he's not a riddle person.
Okay.
Not at all. So let's maybe turn to our magic man. You know,
Well-
the smarty pants of the group.
Smarty
you know?
pants. He's got a lot of wisdom
Yeah,
now.
a lot of intelligence now.
A lot of
Mm.
hints, yeah.
Yeah.
and you're free to roll a straight intelligence check.
I might just do that. Because Gerald has a lot of intelligence, but tell you what, Roji doesn't feel like he has a lot right now.
I love that.
I mean,
love
I
that
was-
for you.
Kind of implying.
Oof.
No.
Nope. That's not a great
no!
roll.
Wait. Should Nana roll one? Oh no.
Can Dust Goose roll one too, please?
Oh yeah.
Anyone can roll just straight intelligence.
Alright, why not?
Anyone who
Okay.
wants
Why
to.
not? Alright.
Damn, Nana.
Oh, Nana.
Nana.
Oh,
Nana.
She's been doing those weekly crosswords are paying off, Nana.
Those crosswords those
Arthur.
Sudoku. Damn, Nana.
Cryptic crosswords paying dividends.
Is Rudy in on this? Okay.
Yeah, just takes time.
Duskus
net.
has no idea. But I'd say, and Rudy is busy having a staring contest, but it's like an interrupted staring contest because you don't want to keep eye contact, but whenever you're looking at it, it doesn't move closer, so you're getting a little bit paranoid.
my
love that.
brain track got totally thrown off by the Coco incident, so I'm completely distracted.
Just terrified of the consequences if that thing had
If it
been
melted the
away.
method, yeah.
Yeah, but I'd say Nana, you realize that you're on the right track, and Arthur is more getting this through observation. As the method starts to like pick at the frozen pieces on Dusku's mantle or cloak. Nana realizes that rock was a solid guess, but
Solid
what?
guess.
Solid.
But you're not sure these things would know what a rock is. But what
Hmm.
thematically would fit might have
Oh.
been something more frozen.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
Like maybe.
we're
Like a-
thinking ice then, yeah.
Mm.
Like an icicle.
Like that just seems like
Just
such
ice.
a weird.
That seems
yeah,
that
like
seems
ice,
very weird.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the level of the ice method though. Somehow.
This is so true.
I feel like
It
this
might-
is on brand.
It scoops up a little bit of snow and sort of like puts on its eyes, like on the eyes, as in the peepers, and it just makes it look like it's squinting.
Oh my god. I already want it to come with us. Is that bad? I'm gonna put it in my bag of holding. I don't care.
And it's scratching its nose.
Oh, in that case, it must be icicles, right? Or like ice. Because you can pick ice, right? Like you can
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
ice pick, yeah.
I mean, it's also scratching its nose. You can pick your nose. So
But it's not getting any smaller if you pick your nose.
True.
What?
I mean,
Your boogers are
Rudy's
getting
nose was
smaller.
a lot bigger, you know, back in the day. Just saying, you know.
Wow. Wow.
I want to ask it. Can we have a hint?
Oh. Whoa.
Did not
And it looks, it just, and it just like scrapes away some of the snow to make itself look like it's surprised.
Oh my god. Stop
it
this.
says-
It's too cute.
It would cost you. Looks over to its friend, who's just giving like an. It would cost you a guess. And then just looks back.
I mean, Arthur, we could guess. Nana seems to have a good idea on this. Maybe we could just make a guess.
We do have 3 guesses.
We do have 3 guesses.
2.
Nana,
What do you think, Nana?
2 now.
Orblit, are you thinking?
Ow.
Wait.
Didn't
we
Nana
gotta
make a
back up.
guess?
No.
Arthur Orblit,
Oh.
are you thinking what I'm thinking? Should we make a guess and see how close we are?
Go for it, Nana.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
Kylie's going to feel very dumb if she gets this wrong.
Well, Nana, if it's wrong, we will then ask for a hint and then have one single guess for our last.
Be very upset if we have to fight these things, okay? I already want to keep them. So,
Just
Yeah,
for
I don't wanna fight.
holding.
Hang on.
Okay,
You don't,
no.
wanna, you don't want to fight them, but you want to enslave them forever.
And
no.
Rudy, the next time you're looking up, it's holding an icicle. It's just like.
And as Rudy like points it out, everyone turns. The icicle's not in its hand anymore.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't know why Rudy's so weird right now, but I think I might know the answer, and I'd like to put it to the test
Oh,
here.
go
And she
ahead,
kind
Nana.
of turns back to the rest of the group. We're guessing ice, right? Are we guessing ice? Is that what
And
we're
the
guessing?
little method in the middle with you all is going like, oh, you're ready to guess. Okay, and then it backs out and just puts itself back where it was. Just stands
Oh,
there.
yeah, very kind of
Are you ready?
Yes. Are we guessing ice, everyone? Are we guessing ice? Is that what we're
I-
doing?
I mean, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we are guessing so I suppose we better guess then. All right. And Nana turns to the was it Muffet?
Method.
Muffet. Not a Muffet, like Little Miss Muffet. That would be weird. Okay, cool. A Muffet. Imagine knowing your terms. And just goes, we would like to make a guess. Our guess is ice.
And it
Right.
folds its arms over, it leans back. You did it! And it just starts picking snow and throwing all over.
I want to start jumping. Go,
And the other method is like reassuring, like, no, you did it. And its
Oh.
friend.
We love perfect validation.
Yes.
and the one that's just been laughing is now more like going like, yeah. And the one that was staring, it just disappears into the snow.
Watch, there's only
Wait.
ever 3 methods. Oh my god.
Yeah, really like grabs Gerald's shoulder and goes, "Was it ever there?
Was whatever
I need
there.
to know."
Was whatever there. Was whatever there, Rudy.
Just
Oh
making
my
Gerald even more paranoid. Like, what did I miss?
Did I
something?
miss something? What happened?
There was 4 methods, right? There was 4, right?
Was there? Oh god.
Was there?
I wasn't counting. I'm
Don't tell me
sorry,
that.
Rudy. I was concentrating.
First Arthur, now you.
Daskus doesn't notice any of this. He's just like celebrating, like, yes, that was wonderful, Riddle. Thank you, little one.
All right, now safe
Good,
passage. Yes.
And the one that's been reassuring its friend, going like, "You did great. That was a good riddle. And they guessed it, but that's okay. Doesn't mean you lost. It means they won. It's not the same thing."
That's so cute. Oh,
Oh, too
And
proud.
now you have to tell them how to spot the trap. And it's just going like, okay. When you enter the tunnel to the lair,
Mm-hmm.
there will be icicles above you.
Mm-hmm.
And just be quiet when walking under the icicles.
okay.
Okay.
That's
Thank
right.
you
Looks
very
at its friend, and the other one goes like, yes, that is
Yes.
correct.
Love it.
Oh, thank you very much, little one. Thank you for letting us know and telling us of us how to safely pass through.
And fun riddle. Yes, very good.
Yes. Wonderful.
Next
riddle.
time, I will have a new riddle next time. And
I
it's going
can't
to be
wait to
harder.
hear your next riddle. That was a great riddle. We're all like trying to boost its confidence, you know.
Yeah.
And the one that's just going like the one that's just cheering is like throwing snow over you all like confetti.
Oh, Daskus is genuinely impressed.
How
used
did
to
you
it.
know? That riddle was impossible.
Yes, guys.
Now with a net 20, maybe.
Truly a riddle master.
All right.
And as you're moving on, Rudy looks over his shoulder, and it's there, staring right at you.
Oh my god. I want to roll
You can't see,
perception.
but you can't see any of the others. It's just that one.
Oh my god. Wait, do we? Is it? I want
Okay,
to know.
feel free to roll perception.
Can I? Okay. I want to know if it's there or not. Oh my god.
Guys, I just realized I yelled really loud and I'm in a hotel.
Oh.
I just
Ow.
realized that.
It's fine. It's what hotels are
Oh
for.
no, I don't think I can see it.
Nope, no. So far, no one
No one
noticed
sees
it.
it. Oh,
Okay,
maybe
Gerald.
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 You know what,
I'm rolling
wow.
because Rudy made me paranoid about it.
Yeah, and you can tell it's there. But Nana, Arthur throwing an eye over your shoulders, there's nothing there.
Nothing there. Oh,
Just-
great.
Just
Okay.
tell me, is it smiling?
Doesn't have a mouth. It's just big eyes and like big. Imagine like polished snowballs, and someone's just like poked a hole for where the pupils would be, and then just a long icicle for a nose. No mouth, nothing
I
else.
hate
It's just
this.
like a floating snowballs and an icicle.
Imagine Rudy's like Gerald, look, there it is.
There, it's there. I told you it was
What
there.
Oh God,
And-
you're
and-
right.
As Gerald looks over, it just lowers down and disappears, like something under disappearing beneath the surface of water. Just
Hey, what was it?
It had an axe. It had an axe. I'm telling you.
I didn't see an
and
axe.
then-
Don't tell me
and
it
then
had an axe,
it
Rudy.
co-
Don't tell me it
as,
had an
as you're
axe.
walking, it comes back up, and you can see like a hand of snow forming.
Amazing.
Let's
Amazing.
let's let's just move on quickly, shall we?
Made a
everyone?
mortal enemy.
Good job, Rudy. Well done. Wow.
As you
Wow.
keep
And also
you
the
keep like
prolonged eye contact.
pulsing forward, you finally get and it's a hole. It's just a big hole that leads straight, like it slopes down into the hill.
We sledding? Who's sledding?
It's
Alright.
not steep enough to go sliding down, and you can tell that as you get in, it's more like rough ice. The snow only gets so far in, and then it's just like ice.
Okay.
Slippery.
But it looks slippery. It's like it's not solid and it's not flat. It's not smooth, but it's still slippery.
Mm.
That's
So
good.
you could
Ready to-
either you could like rush down, walk down, and risk falling, or you could just go at it slowly and carefully.
Well, Daskus was just about to like go straight in, and he was like, "Oh, quiet." So he starts like going very slow.
Yeah, it's slow and careful is.
I think Nana is a pretty light walker as it is, so we'll be quiet.
And you get to a part where as you look up, you can see like it's like swords hanging from. It's about 10-15 feet up. As you get down, the tunnel gets bigger and bigger, and you can see it's like these almost like swords made of ice, and they just shimmer and glimmer in the sunlight that reflects in.
Is now a bad time to mention that Rudy is really clumsy.
This is the fucking worst time to mention that, Rudy.
I say everyone roll a stealth check.
No! I don't get
Oh, dear.
stealthy!
Oh, we're so fucked.
Oh no!
I got +5 at.
I don't know how to. Wait, it won't let me. Oh, wait, it will. Okay.
And I've got 11. Oof.
Hey, 16.
Oh,
Goose.
no.
Nana!
Oh, Nana, no. Nana and Rudy.
Since you were aware of the trap, the DC wasn't too high. It counts as a success all in all. But there is a moment where Nana just slips. There's like a small patch of snow that's blown in, and as you put your foot on it, just goes away under you, and you're about to fall. And you're like, and then there's just this big hand underneath you, and you look up, and Dusk Goose is just like lean forward, like at an awkward angle, just holding you up.
That's Goose for the win! Thank you, child! Except she doesn't really say that, she's just like.
He's just like,
Yeah.
oh, wait, no, one hand
And
out.
you-
Oh my god.
And you can see like these as you're looking up, walking by. It's almost like where these icicles are connected to the ceiling. It's a lot thinner. It's like they've almost been like thinned out to just barely be hanging on.
Ooh.
That
Like
seems.
naturally, or like it's been done on purpose?
You'd have to take a much closer look to deduce that.
Or not.
But you can just see that they're shaped like this.
Okay.
It's not like it's just a triangle. It's
Like,
choop choop.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And as you get down, you start to hear rummaging and humming.
wait a second, that sounds familiar. From a certain frosty man from session 1? Was he not humming the same thing?
I can't recall, but no, it doesn't sound. It sounds like a lot deeper.
Oh, okay.
Okay, just make sure. I was like, oh.
Yeah. 'Cause I remember him humming it from the first session, but I was like,
Can Rudy just really quickly look back up to the entrance? Just
It's just a small speck of light. Light is reflecting in, and you can see ahead. The tunnel, as you're coming downward, you can't see too much, but you do realize that it's opening up into a chamber that has light in it.
Okay. He doesn't see those eyes again. Right.
No.
I love
But
that.
every now and then, as you look into the ice wall to the side of you, you think it's there, but then you focus and no, it's just like knots and swirls in the ice. Okay, it's fine.
I was just had to check one last time. But
I thought Gerald was the paranoid one.
this has rattled Rudy.
Yeah.
Now the
He's now
turn
starting to, I think Rudy understands Gerald a little bit more. You know,
Yeah,
just a little
yeah.
deeper now, you know?
Become closer now.
Yeah. We've had this bonding moment now where we both saw like.
Shed trauma.
But yes, Humming Man.
like to creep up to
Yeah,
like the
push
wall of the
forwards,
chamber
yeah.
and kind of peek over, see if you can have a good look. So could
Do you want to
can I
get
roll something?
closer?
I suppose I
I'd
can,
say
that-
you'd
Sorry?
need to roll another stealth check if you want to get to the entrance without like any attention falling on you.
Alright.
Oh,
Do we all do
why the
another
hell
stealth?
not? Yeah. Let's all go for it.
Okay.
I reckon.
Alright.
You know I'm gonna wreck this. I do not have the Oh no. Oh
Hey,
no.
that's pretty good.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's
no.
better? Question mark?
Oh, that's goose. No.
Oh.
Nope.
Das Goose.
It's Gerald is being oh so careful.
Yeah, he's like.
But
edging
Das
down.
Goose, as you want, you're like almost in the back, and you want to get past, and as you're trying to squeeze past everyone, you just tumble down, and you take Arthur and Rudy with you, and you just tumble out, and you hear an, oh, and you all see now, sitting like with its back leaned against an icy wall, you see this really stocky-looking, top-heavy dragon with its wings like down on the ground next to it. It's got it looks almost like a beak and this white fin on its head, and it's just like holding a bunch of small objects, and it looks like it's just been sticking them together. It just looks like objects stuck together, and it just sort of scrambles it down.
Hello.
And a wing just comes up, like hiding itself, and then it's just like slowly it gets down, and it's sitting awkward, like the tail out between its legs, just leaned back like Baloo in the Jungle Book.
Oh yeah.
And it just sort of like slides down to one side, gets over on its feet, and like with the wings still out, like blocking its face, it's just like creeping around.
Trying to recompose itself.
and then it just and then the wing comes off and it says, "Who enters the lair of Chigor?" And yes,
Hello.
you have passed through my servants and my deadly traps.
Das
And
Goose is just
then
staring
it's
up,
just like getting a little bit closer, and you can see there's like this small pile of items. It's like just a little bit of a pile, and it's just like shoving it back behind itself.
When you say items, do you mean just like junk, or is it like?
Yeah, it looks like a pile of junk.
Yeah. Alright.
And it's just like at first with like a claw back, and then one of the like back claws
Back legs
comes
kind
and
of
just
just scoop it further.
Oh my god.
How can the great Chigor help you?
Das
What
Goose is just
knowledge
awestruck
do you
at the
seek?
moment. He's like, oh, dragon!
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's actually not that big. It's like you look at it and it's like if Dasku's one was in his enlarged form, he could probably wrestle that thing to the ground.
Das Goose
it's
is
like
still awestruck,
it's like maybe 15 feet or 15 17 feet from nose tip to tail end, and then when it stands it's like it's like 7 feet tall, like a little pushing 2 meters, a little bit higher. It's just like but it's puffing its chest up and doing like the broad stance.
Yeah.
Daskos is still impressed. He's never seen a dragon before. He's heard stories from like his dad, but he's never seen a dragon before, so he's just excited. He's just so like awestruck by it. He's like, dragon! Goody, there's a dragon!
Knows there's bigger dragons out there, but is gonna let him have this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's gonna
Nana
let him
knows
have
that
this
the dragon in Bandoria is like massive in comparison to this.
And she's like, okay, interesting. Yes, very
It's-
impressive. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
She wouldn't
say-
look so bad, you know?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's just
Size of the dragon doesn't matter. It's what they do that counts, okay?
Yeah.
It's the magic, everyone.
Hello.
That's just sit up and like, I'm Daskos! Lovely to meet you! Tries to hold out his hand to shake.
and it looks a bit like takes a careful step forward, like it keeps one of its paws unmoving, like it's just leaning out and holds another claw forward and is trying to look big and just hands you one claw, but you could easily get like almost the whole thing in your hand.
Oh,
And just as Daskos is so happy, he's just like,
It's your honor.
oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. Lovely to meet you.
No, I meant the honor is yours for
Oh.
meeting me.
Oh, I am very happy.
Good. And then just yanks the claw back and sort of like sits down. It's just like sitting almost like a dog or a cat on like the ground now, looking around like, well, did you want anything? This is usually someone tapping its claws on the ground. Can I help you?
Yes, hello.
Oh,
My-
yes,
my name's Gerald.
What was the reason?
Hello, Gerald.
Yes, we're here looking to find out what happened to Tura, who I believe you're acquainted with.
Yes, Tura. I know Tura. Did something happen?
Well,
Is Tura okay?
that's what we'd like to know.
I haven't seen them in, I'd say 2 days.
Apparently they left.
Why?
They haven't returned to the town, and the townspeople are wondering where they were because the town was attacked by some sort of fire things.
Oh, that's what happened last night. Yeah, I saw the fires.
Hmm.
And where were you?
I was feeling a bit under the weather.
Okay, yeah, sure. Yep.
And then as I was considering that maybe I could get down there and help either way, the fire started dying out, so I assumed everything was fine.
You know it was.
We took care of the fire.
Good, then I wasn't needed. As
Although one villager did lose their life.
Wow, Rudy, you really rubbed that one in, huh? I wasn't gonna tell him, but okay.
someone did. And you're saying Tura wasn't there?
That's
Oh,
right.
but we took care of
yes.
it.
We happened to turn up, and fortunately we were able to save the rest. But yes, it would have been. I think it's fair to say it might have been quite dire without our timely arrival.
Well, that's awkward.
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
Just a little.
I guess that's. Oh, I suppose I should have been there.
I mean, surely being a little under the weather is nothing to a mighty impressive dragon as such as yourself.
Yes, and that's why I said I was just considering going down there to help when everything turned out fine. Yes.
Convenient, isn't that?
So,
So
but you're saying that Tura hasn't been here the whole time. In fact, they came 2 days ago and left pretty much
Yes,
straight away.
but I could maybe find out where they are.
That would be
You can
fantastic.
find out where?
Okay, give me a moment, and just sort of like gets comfy, like scrapes the bottom on the ice, and sort of like sits down. Takes a deep breath.
Are you all right?
Oh, good news!
laying egg.
Good news.
Ah, yes. Well,
Tura is on their way back to the village.
oh, that's.
Did you do some
good.
sort of dragon magic?
Yes, I suppose. But I also have bad news.
Oh, what's the bad news?
Tura is being chased.
Oh,
By what?
Oh, okay. Well,
Well, I don't know what. That was a bit hard to see, but
Mhm.
definitely being chased, yes.
Hmm.
On their way
Yeah.
back to the village, everything
Yeah.
will be fine.
Nana pokes
Bullets.
Orb with her spoon, and she goes, "Show him the picture.
Ow!
Show him the thing.
Nana!
Arthur,
Nana, stop it!
Arthur Orblet the Third. Don't make me use your middle name. Arthur Marie Orblet. You show him that picture immediately."
I grab it out and I go, here, Nana, and waving it in her face. You friggin' do it. Stop it, that hurts. Rubbing my get all cranky, Nana. I'm like, here, take it.
All right, Nana takes the picture and she says, "Is the thing that's chasing him anything like this?"
Well, Tura is being chased by creatures. This is looks like to me a fly or a skull, and I would say it's bigger than a fly. The thing's chasing Tura
The
as
image
they are
is,
being
is a
chased.
mask. This is a mask, just by the way.
Oh, this
No,
was
he's right.
on
It
a
looks like a
mask.
bug, though. It does. You're right about that, Chigor.
This was on a mask, you say?
That's right. Yes. And we're looking for
well,
that person as
Wait, on a mask.
well.
Tura was going after someone with a mask.
Oh, that is interesting.
That might be related.
There seems to be less and less coincidences going on as these events are stacking up.
What events?
Well, the lack of the storm for one, the fire, like some
The
sort
skeletons.
of the fire.
Yes,
elemental things.
it hasn't snowed in a fair amount of time.
And the skeletons coming back from the dead, that was concerning particularly, yes.
You said what now?
There were skeletons that were dead people coming back from the dead and attacking us.
Dead
Like-
people aren't
like,
supposed to
yes,
come back.
Like, and then I was like,
Yeah.
and then
No. Dead. What were you talking about? Dead people don't do that.
not normally.
might, though.
I would agree with you, but these ones definitely did come back to life and definitely did attack us.
And there's this creeping little tingle in the back of Rudy's mind that you don't get any hostility from the dragon, but you still it's on edge. Being around a dragon is putting you on edge, and you can't really. It's a similar feeling to the urge, the feeling that gave you the urge to destroy the undead is keeping you on edge.
We should
But you're not getting any hostility. You just
Yeah.
can't seem to relax.
No. Rudy is thoroughly unimpressed as well. So it's kind of like a mixture of not being impressed and just being on guard Because this dragon doesn't seem right.
Oh, I just got a ping. Tura changed directions. Oh, even better good news.
Oh yes. I like
Tura
good
is
news.
heading this way.
Oh good.
Oh.
We could meet
And-
halfway.
That's where we're going to cut for this week.
Hey.
Yay! There we go. What a cliffhanger!
I love that you're like, I got a ping. Like, Dragon Wi-Fi.
Hold on. News.
I'm sorry, I'm getting something new. We have
Breaking
we
news.
have live on the ground.
Breaking news from our metropolitan correspondent.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Hello, Gerald here. Everything's terrible out here.
It's so
That's what you always
exciting!
say, Gerald. You never say anything else.
Back to you.
Oh my god. Yes.
We go to Daskus, as always, at a pond.
Oh yes, I'm at the pond, and there are many much schools around here. Back to you.
I believe the plural is geese. Thank you, Daskus. Well,
Oh my god.
thank you all for joining us for D&D this week,
Thank you
and we
for
will be
hosting another lovely event.
we will be continuing again next Sunday, which will be the finale of this short little 4-part adventure, and we will be having a guest. We will be having the character Tura is played by
Oh.
an actual person, and it is, I will be pointing out, it is important, it's gender neutral pronoun.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
cool.
No worries.
Easy.
Yes.
Lovely.
And I'm going to plug Syrinscape real quick, and then we'll do the rounds. We have been using Syrinscape. We haven't been switching too much between the sound sets today, but it's still good for just some ambiance. It just gives that little bit extra. And in my chat, the bot is rotating a message with a link to Syrinscape and the full sound set, credit attributions. There's also a button in my about section to get you there, and check them out. It's good. There's a bunch of sounds, and if you get the subscription, you get all of the sounds. Otherwise, some are for free, others you can purchase separately. I am Josie Poser, and I predominantly do TTRPG stuff. I have been streaming a front-to-back read-through of the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition core rulebook. We are almost on page 100, and we also play D&D, and I plan on getting more stuff going, more TTRPG stuff rolling. That's what I want to do, and I
Rolling
think
up.
we'll go. We'll go in backward order of the tokens. Going backwards order of the tokens. I'm putting Arthur Orblet III on the spot.
Oh,
Hey.
look.
Orbit the Third, or West Orb, or Orb, or call me anything but not late for dinner. Basically,
The crickets, yeah.
No.
He's gone.
Gar, get him out of here.
basically, I play everything and anything. No, I am currently dead on the screen.
Yeah, the big cane comes from off screen and just yoinks him off stage.
As you can see, these people tolerate me just the way I am. And if you want to see how the streams go, it's very much like this, as I'm being slowly shuffled off. Bye.
And how about if you feel done with your little self-plug, we'll put Rudy on the spot.
Yes, so my name's Aussie DevFro. I'm not actually live right now. I'm on a bit of a mini holiday, but I will be live again next week. I'm a variety streamer. I stream a whole bunch of different things. Like at the moment, we're doing a bit of Yakuza, we're doing a bit of Minecraft, doing a bit of Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, just having a good time no matter what we're playing. But yeah, I'll be back revitalized, refreshed, ready to tackle our streaming adventures with the full force that a lack of hair Aussie DevFro can go in. But I'm getting there. It's growing back. It's growing back. But yeah, I'll be back next week, ready to rumble.
Delicious.
And Nana Melavora.
It's me! Hi, my name's
you.
Carly Raptor. I'm also a variety streamer. I think we all are, because we can't make a decision. That's my main issue. That is my first and final weakness. Yes, I stream variety things, and this is my first time doing a D&D, like a big full D&D campaign. Imagine English. And I love it. I love it so far. Thank you to Josie for doing all this and for writing all this and for like putting this whole world together. My schedule varies at the moment, but I'm hoping to get a more solid one going. Hopefully next week, but let's be real, let's give me like 2 weeks to do this. So yeah, that's me.
In 2 weeks, it's gonna be holiday season. Not gonna be done. I'm afraid. I'm afraid it's mandatory to stop working.
Oh.
Not for me. My work just gets even more strenuous.
Oh
That
no.
haunts my life.
Yeah.
Oh no. Sorry.
That's me. That's me.
That's you. It's you. And
Lansky.
Gerald.
Oh yeah, that's me. I'm Roju.
It's you.
My channel's Participation Award. I played Gerald, the wizard warlock. And yes, like the others, variety streaming is my thing. I play a bunch of VR stuff and a bunch of non-VR stuff. I'm playing through the Yakuza series, and I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Of course, Sundays being today, which is D&D at the moment. And I do a lot of co-op streams with these bozos as well.
Wow.
So if you want to
Wow.
see all of us idiots doing stuff, we usually do it on Thursdays for the co-op stuff.
I accept Bozo as a wonderful title. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm glad
Aussie
you.
Bozo?
There was a
Yeah,
lot of
Aussie
heart
Bozo.
in that descriptor, you know. Like I love you guys because you're bozos like me.
Oh,
And yeah, so that's what I do. And yeah, it's not about playing games good. It's about trying, because if you had fun, you won. So there you go.
Hey.
that's gonna be
And
like my favorite
last-
thing.
Last but not least,
There should be a saying, shouldn't
we
there?
had
Yeah.
Das Goose.
Yes.
Mega evolution.
Did a honky honk at some point and got extra big.
Got a honky honk.
But yes, I am Denimation. I play Das Gus. Normally I do the co-op streams with everybody. Sunday D&D streams. Wednesdays I also do art streams with Doodles with Jenny, where we go practice various different art stuff, from like practicing anatomy or life drawings. Well, I eventually want to do life drawing. I've been sick for a little while, but hopefully I think I'm on the mend now, so we'll be able to get back into things following this coming Wednesday.
Almost back to being fully sick.
Holy sick!
Yeah.
Wow.
And for those who've been with us for these few episodes, the characters have been level 3 all this time, but for next episode they will have leveled up
Oh yeah.
Hey.
Right.
to make the final encounter a bit more balanced.
Oh,
thank you.
that's
great.
not a yay. That's not a yay.
Absolutely a yay. It's gonna be fun. Don't worry about it.
Gets a yay from me. I like leveling up.
But it's been great playing with you all. I've had a great time. Today was wonderful. And I'm going to take a moment and just talk with my chat, but this has been great. Thanks all of the viewers. Thanks to the players.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks for enjoying the things I throw at you.
Yes.
Oh, very much
absolutely.
enjoying it.
Josie, are
Especially our little
you continuing on after this? Are you taking a break and then streaming more?
No, I'm just going to see if there's anything going on in chat, and then I would like to, if possible, I would like if everyone has maybe 15-20 minutes to set aside. I'd like to just we do our little after
Post-game.
game chat.
Yeah. Super yes.
Otherwise, I was gonna raid you, but. Alright.
You can feel free.
I
Feel
have
free.
no chat this week. I feel so lonely. I have no chat this week. I'm not live. I'll just wait in Discord.
You've
I'll
got
just wait here.
us though.
I need to go. Bye, everybody across all the chats. I will
Bye,
disappear.
everybody. Thank you for joining us
Bye.
tonight.
Have fun. See you soon.
Oh boy.
See you soon. I'm gonna see if I can get all of these.
All right. So, I guess are we looking for someone to send all our lovely people to then?
I got no one to send.
Let's see. We're gonna find someone to send them to. Let's see who's on.
Davey is live. If you want to go to Davey.
Oh yeah, Davey's live.
At least I think he was. Sorry, let me double check that.
I'll just refresh.
Although I'm not live, so don't let me influence you.
Bup.
Oh, would you imagine there's this wonderful being called Participation Award. They're playing some Dungeons and Dragons, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're okay, I guess. They have their moments.
Yeah, you're right. I mean,
I don't know if I'd
really-
rate them, but
you're really gonna be in the mood for it. You know?
Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Davey's on. Oh, Polly's on as well. Who have I not rated in a while? Let's go Davey's way. I think we'll send people that way. Here we go. All right. So, all you lovely people in my chat, thank you so much for hanging out. Hope you've all had a bit of fun with us. And there'll be more. So next week, so Sunday is going to be, it was probably a bit, I think the message might have been a bit lost in all the chat. But so next week, Sunday, will be the last Dungeons and Dragons stream for a little while, at least. Because that'll sort of round out this, like, the 4-episode mini campaign that we sort of wanted to start with. There may be more Dungeons and Dragons, because we're certainly having a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys are having a lot of fun. And I just like playing Dungeons and Dragons regardless, really. So we shall see. And if you want to see more, if you want more Dungeons and Dragons to, like, continue on in the future past just next week for the short series, let us know. Let us know if you enjoyed it, whether you want more, all that kind of good stuff. And that'll certainly, help with decisions and stuff. But anyway, regardless of all of that, thanks all for hanging out. We're going to go raid Davey Dorky and give him a little bit of love. And and I will then be able to see you guys Tuesday, hopefully, if all things go smoothly. So let me get this raid rolling, and we'll do that. I'm losing my words now. It's ridiculous. Raid Davey Dorky. There we go. So hang out for the raid. That way you get the lovely, delicious channel points. Boop. There we go. All right, folks. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you all next time. Bye.